Let's talk about our democracy for a minute. But let's do it in a way that makes the snowflakes' heads explode. Clear before this podcast begins. We are loud, proud, and do not give a fuck. This is the Tony Michaels real and raw political and social commentary. The freedom to oppress the rights of other people is not liberty, you shit-eating moron. Ah, the smell of freedom of speech. This is Michaels. Tony, fuck 'em.
Hey boy, I trouble just before I come on. Of course, on such a big day, can go wrong, will go wrong. Isn't that how it goes? Isn't that just how it goes?
Let's talk about our democracy for a minute.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Yeah, I see it. Absolutely crazy. Podcast, it's arraignment day. New York City is a little spicy this morning. It's getting spicy in New York City. I don't know if you've seen this. Some of the videos that are out on Twitter. There, yeah. Everyone's saying what can go wrong will go wrong. Arraignment day, so it does seem like everything's going to go right, but could be wrong. Oh, baby. What a great day to be alive. Everyone thinks that the country is spiraling into peril. We have fascists in Tennessee trying to oust the other party, oust any opposition at all to freedom and democracy, to protesting. They're really upset that 3 members were using their right to protest. Gun control advocates against the absolute gun in Tennessee. Today in democracy, we an I don't know, just so we have that going on as well today. Today is Trump's. Now, who gives a shit about? Apparently, that's what we're hearing. Is it's 34 of a couple hours, probably, of exactly what these felonies consist. A little bit before his arraignment, for his attorneys to actually review it. We know what the plea is going to be in the open arraignment. It's going to be not guilty. We know mugshot doesn't sound like it. Is he going to do a DNA test? Doesn't sound like it. Last judge that is going to be holding will not allow cameras into the still shot cameras in the courtroom apparently. But that is we're going to get some sort of record of Donald Trump being in the courtroom. And now, the burp walk doesn't seem like we're going to get handcuffs. And apparently, it sounds like the arraignment's going to take place at 2:15. So, stuff live. We may go 3 hours today. So stay with us today if you're gonna be anywhere. You want to be here because Paul, with as we do on every Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. It's Texas Paul Tuesday, and it's Felony Tuesday. Trump Felony Tuesday, folks. This isn't the last time he's going to be arraigned for charges. Sure. There's no way that this guy is skating on his other crimes that he's committed. I don't think it's fucking wrong, but I believe that Donald Trump will continue to be indicted on other federal charges and state charges, one being in the state of Georgia, which seems closer. And so, hang on to your hats, folks. and especially your cowboy hats, because Texas Paul is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Now, let's get to the problem in Tennessee. Let's get to the problem in Tennessee. Now, you guys know in Nashville, at the Covenant School, there was a shooting that happened. A person who should not have a weapon of war, had a weapon of war, walked into a school, murdered, cold blood. Why is because Republicans in Tennessee right, and they allow anyone and everyone to over 21 to get a weapon, carry a weapon anywhere and everywhere they want. That's the problem. Now, over the last few days in Tennessee, there's been huge protests at the Capitol of students, young people, demanding that the legislator there do something. Children and weapons in the Covenant School. Yesterday, the Republicans were trying to expel 3 members of the Democratic caucus. Now, this is fascism, folks. This is fascism at its bare essentials. When they're removing people who they don't like their fucking beliefs, they don't like their political views, they don't like that they speak out against their political. This is bare fascism as it will continue to be on display with the Republican Party. No bigger fascists in this country, because we like to harp on the House of Representatives, which we have our fair share of fascists in the House of Representatives. We'll get to some news on that petty yeti today. We have Lauren, Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, Jim Comer. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about all these fascists that are in the United States House of Representatives. We have a lot of backstop to those. But in these red states, these legislators are full of Marjorie Taylor Greens. Absolutely packed full of Jim Jordans and Jim Comers. These fucking real America First Nazis is where they're at. I mean, just give you an example, Ron DeSantis in private, in secret, signed an open carry in Florida with only the NRA present. I wonder who he signed that bill for. The people. He didn't allow the people to see him sign that bill. Only the people who lobbied to get them to pass that legislation, so that way the gun lobby and the gun manufacturers can sell anything and everything to anyone they want in Florida. Damn children, damn citizens, damn safety. Who gives a fuck about lives? They're not pro-life. In Missouri, I mean, they're not about limiting and restricting gun sales, but they definitely don't want libraries. Libraries are the thing that are killing children. But these mass libraries that are happening, these mass book reading, God, you talk about a safety issue in the state of Missouri. The state of Missouri took every single fucking dollar, every single fucking for. Listen to me when I tell you this. The state of Missouri, the Nazi legislators in the state of Missouri ripped every single fucking dollar away from libraries in high populated districts out of rural communities, which in some cases in rural areas, this is their only access to in general, because they don't have the fucking internet. They will soon, because Democrats did that when they passed the infrastructure bill. High-speed internet is coming to those communities, but sometimes that's the only contact of media that they have in DVDs, movies, documentaries, books, magazines, newspapers, internet. The public only from their rural community to the outside world. I understand a lot of people in these rural communities probably don't want connection to the outside world and the truth, because they live in their own little fucking worlds, folks. They live in their own little worlds. They've created this white supremacy buffer zone in this country. They don't live in reality. They do not have a sense of who the country is. It's only when these fucking morons think that this country is going to be in shambles because Donald Trump is indicted for crimes he committed. This is only going to make our country better. This is only going to move and get rid of the bullshit that we are going through and have been going through the last 15 fucking years. A lot of this stems from the racism that sprung up when Barack Obama. Oh my God! Where do you think this came from? Where do you think this stems from? Where do you think the root cause is of this? See, white Tennessee expel those members. White Missouri legislators stripped every single fucking nickel from public library. The reason why people are even thinking criminal fraudster is because he's white and they hate black. He fucking hates Muslims. He that there's because we are the judge. On it. Long, boy, is it going to get. Trust me. First is yet to come. The quote from crazy. The worst to come. Lord and stop. Talk about at the same time. She lasted could go so many ways. It could go. But right now, there's just protesters, probably more than there are protesters. Now you should see the swell folks that showed up to support Donald Trump rally before the Trump rally. Those rallies showed up in New York City. I don't about that, right? Like when you see pictures of these people who are there in support of him, there's no way he would give them more than fucking half a second of his thought or time. Like, I mean, unless they were gonna give him money, right? Like, I mean, if they were gonna give him, you know, their fucking equity in their home, they're gonna take out a loan or their 401k, he might spare a second or two. He might. That's a strong might too, right? But these people are the people that Donald Trump loathes. Like, just from the look of them, you know? Who am I to judge? I really don't give a fuck. I mean, honestly, a lot of these people are desecrating the American flag by wearing American flag clothes. Do I care? No. I don't think that's against anyone's right to desecrate the American flag by wearing them as fucking clothing. But these people, hell, the America patriotism, and then they're wearing the American flag as overalls or as a jacket. Like, do you even understand? Do you even know what the lie? But the delusion is deep, and we're in the thick of it. We're going to be breaking it down here on the Tony Michaels podcast. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's go to a break. When we come back, if Texas Paul can give me a thumbs up, are you ready? Are you ready, Paul? Are you ready? Okay, Texas Paul is ready. Let's go to a break, and we'll come right back with Texas Paul because it's Tuesday right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's a rhetorical question at best. We'll be right back on the Tony Michaels podcast.
Fellow patriots, what would you do if there was a Trump supporter right in front of you, crying in pain because they have to live under communist tyranny? We know what you would do. You'd reach out and give that true American a hand. Now, here's your chance. For only $50 a day, you can help us help those true Americans recover from Biden's socialist reign of terror. These are those Trump supporters, and this is that moment. Send your donation via Venmo to the real president, Donald J. Trump. It's only $50 a day, recurring. And it means you'll get these Trump supporters the critical help they so desperately need to survive under this false regime. Please donate now, because those Trump supporters you just saw can't wait another moment.
Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. We're back to the Tony Michaels podcast.
Welcome back to the show. I'm not going to waste any time today. We're going to get right to it, right to the analysis. We're going to go to some videos. I don't want to waste too much time yelling and screaming, although, you know. So we're going to go to Texas Paul. Texas Paul, welcome back to the Tony Michaels podcast. How was the vacation, my friend? Are you ready to start swinging on these fascists?
Man, it was wonderful, and hell yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. I am pumped. Let's do this.
Great.
How do I look, man? How do I look? I know I even make COVID look pretty. I'm rocking COVID right now.
Oh, God damn. Oh, God damn. You knew that was going to happen. Traveling. That seems to be traveling. You're gonna catch the vid. That's why you're safe and vaccinated and boosted. You don't like
vaccinated, baby.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
There's a lot of news coming out of New York. I know this morning you were making tries for anyone to call their relatives in Wisconsin. I know a lot of people have been talking about the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Very confident that we're a good vote there, and the good's going to happen there. We're going to turn that court from what we know as a conservative court to more of a common sense court, a court of the people in Wisconsin. I believe that's what's going to drive people to the polls. And the reason why is because they're tired of that court making really stupid fucking decisions. And there's someone on the ballot that has common sense. Most people would call her a liberal, but she has common fucking sense. So tell us a little bit about that race before we get to New York City. I also want to touch a bit on Tennessee as well.
You got Jan Tashwitz up there, folks. She is the bomb. She has been an ADA for 25 years. She was a circuit court judge in Wisconsin for 25 years. And, they of course, everybody that runs on the Democratic ticket, the Republican side, to paint them as the most crazy, insane liberal commie that ever ran. But she's actually pretty middle of the road. She's super sharp. She's the most qualified person on the ballot, and she's running against Kelly. This guy is, Generac. Are you familiar with Generac, the backup generators and shit like that? The Kern family founded that company. This guy was appointed. Her opponent Kelly was appointed to the Supreme Court in 2016. Served a partial term. Then lost his re-election bid in 2020 because he's a total jackhole. It really is. I mean, when he lost his term, to give you an idea of what this guy is legally, he went to work for the Kern family, running their trust, being the legal, handling the legal trust. He is just everything you would imagine a shitbag, sorry, nasty ass Republican would be. He's the guy that when the city of Milwaukee tried to ban firearms on their buses, you had Scott Walker trying to do that "we love guns" shit, and the city of Milwaukee said, well, we'd rather not have shootouts on our buses, so no guns on buses. It was Kelly that wrote the majority opinion that told the city of Milwaukee they didn't have the legal authority to ban guns on their own buses. So this is the kind of asshole this is. I mean, and I know everything's super important. I mean, we got Trump getting indicted coming out. I mean, it's going to be a good day. And then you got all the shit that's going on in Tennessee, all that crazy. I know there's a lot to pay attention to, folks, but man, if you've got people in Wisconsin, call them. Get out the vote in Wisconsin.
Even if you know they're going to vote, even if you know they're already going to vote, still call them to make sure.
Amen, brother.
That's a very important situation that we've done. So, the other problem that we have is in Tennessee. So we have a couple of state issues here. Now, we had this school where, because Republicans bowed out to the NRA and let anyone and everyone in the state of Tennessee, without checks or balances or anything, grab a weapon, legally buy a weapon, and walk around the streets with the weapon concealed or open. It doesn't matter. That's just the state of Tennessee right now. Now, because these 3 children were murdered in cold blood with 3 teachers, 6 people killed that day, from just, again, someone who had a gun, who was able to gain access to these guns through the laws that are of the land or lack thereof, more than anything, there in Tennessee. People started protesting at the Capitol, and they haven't let up. This has been, I think, day 4 or 5 of mass protests there in first, the right wing tried to frame it up as an insurrection, like a bunch of trans people all around the country to go to Tennessee and to have an insurrection on the Capitol. Well, they were seeing this little light of mine is what if that's an insurrection, well, excuse me, but it didn't deter the protesters. The protesters were not deterred by the insurrection talk. Even the state legislators in Tennessee, the Republicans, who are very extreme on were calling it an insurrection. And then yesterday, the other day, you could tell the story. Do you know the story for Tennessee of the 3 legislators that went down to the well? They were speaking in the well.
Yes, Justin Jones. Shit, one eludes me, and shit, I'm having a mind lock right now. It was Justin Jones, Justin. Damn it! I hate when that happens. Somebody asked me a question in my mind goes blank. Somebody help me out in the chat. You know those people.
Well,
You know
speaking
these
of
people.
Justin Jones, I actually had the video yesterday. Last night.
Of Lafferty?
Of Lafferty actually pushing him and grabs his phone on the floor as they were voting to expel. Now, there were people in the chamber here. You're going to hear them yelling and screaming, and you're also going to hear people trying to get them out because they're trying to do a vote and they won't let them hold the vote. Let's watch this video.
That's Lafferty.
We see the protesters up, and there he hits it.
Yep.
So that video came straight from Justin Jones, representative there. Now, he also made a video that kind of went viral last night where he was outside and he was talking about how they were going to vote to expel these members. Not only did they vote to expel these members, they took away their IDs, they took them off their committees. Basically, I mean, they're no longer. Oh, I lost Texas Ball there. If I can find that video of Justin Jones giving a plea for. I think I lost you there, Texas Ball.
Yeah,
back.
I don't know what happened.
Some are saying your mic is too loud, but I think I got it fixed. If anyone thinks Paul's mic is still too loud, just let me know.
I just cranked it down.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I've got a few. Let's see. Let me go to the footage of yesterday, that viral video that was going around of Justin Jones, and then we'll try to get to the chaos at hand in New York City, because here's the video yesterday of him outside the Capitol building there, making the plea that the Republicans were going to try to block them from being members of Congress. This is
Tennessee today. So 3 of us lawmakers who stood with our constituents demanding that they take action, and here the thousands of people gathered on Thursday talking about the crisis of mass shootings. We've been kicked off our committees as representatives elected by our constituents. Each of us represents 78,000 people, and our people are being silenced because they're kicking us off committees. They're threatening to take a vote to expel us today. Our member ID badges have been shut off. Our representative ID badges have been shut off. And this is not what democracy looks like. We are elected to serve our constituents, and I'm the youngest Democratic lawmaker here, the most diverse district, and by shutting me down, they're shutting down the voice of my constituents. So this is one of my constituents, and so the family was hit, and a victim of the mass shooting. So we're here to speak for them. And they won't even let us speak for our people. They won't let us talk on the floor. They shut our microphones off. They shut our voting machines off. We couldn't even talk about the issue. And so when we went to the well to force the issue, they called us insurrectionists, and they're now trying to expel us.
And it's best, Texas Ball, no question about it. This is exactly what the Republicans want. This is what they're going to do. They're going to continue this shit too all around the country. I was in a space the other day, Texas Ball, and they said Donald Trump. That's blatant. There were several of them saying Republicans are going to get revenge, and they're going to keep coming at it. They're going to keep attacking democracy here. And the reason why is because their orange Mussolini Jesus is going down in flames. They've made him the martyr, and he will be the martyr of their party, which more power to him. There is no indication that this country doesn't, the majority of this country doesn't want him to pay for his fucking crimes. There's very few people, percentage-wise, that don't want him to pay for his crimes. But those folks have control in some of these districts and some of these legislators, and they are going to seek revenge on Democrats anywhere and everywhere they can. That is why some of this legislation has nothing to do with more than that, than to fight democracy and kill democracy. That's what they're trying to do all around the country. As I brought up earlier, they're even wanting to, in Missouri, they defunded every single nickel, every single penny of public library funding. And what's your take on what's happening in Tennessee? Because it seems that the Republicans have jumped the shark from a reasonable gun debate about gun safety in the state of Tennessee to full on just showing their fascism right out in the open, and that they're willing to use fascism to protect the gun lobby and gun manufacturers.
Well, I 100%. What hit me the most? It was Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, I believe. It was Gloria Johnson. If you're calling what's happening in Tennessee an insurrection, you've got to tell me, what are they trying to overturn? Okay? I mean, you look like a weak, frickin' namby-pamby little, I mean, dweeb, dork. I can't think of any more weakling pejoratives to describe these Tennessee chicken shits. They're just, you've got to tell me, if you're going to call this an insurrection, what election were they trying to overturn? No, they were just saying, see me. I am here, fuckers. Don't just see your lobbyists. We're your constituents. See me. That's not an insurrection. That is trying to get your attention. And the only violence we see is that of a frickin' Republican, this jackass Justin Lafferty. And by the way, my Tennessee people, why the hell is everybody named Justin in your state?
I don't know. It must be the boots.
I'm telling you, man. I looked at these guys and I listened to the shit they said. These are kids. These are kids. And they're out there saying, look, see me. This shooting shit is real. It's really happening. Don't just sit back and take your fucking check. You know, and these Republicans are so pathetically weak. They are so pathetic. It's just, I look at these guys and they're like, oh, we're going to kick 3 out to get even. Okay, fucker, let's do this. We'll kick 30 fucking Republicans out for no goddamn reason, because believe me, we have the votes to do it in states. You know, you guys think that you're the only swinging dick in the room. You're not. You want to play this game where we're going to just kick the opposition party out? Fine, let's go down that road. We'll do it till you don't want to do it anymore. I'm telling you, gerrymandering, kicking people out for no damn reason. Somebody farts in the damn chamber. That's an scout. I mean, I am tired of it. I am tired of it. I'm sick and damn tired of it. All they do is this drama bullshit. You know, there are real things going on in this world, Tony. I mean, real things going on. We have, and about the whole shooting that set this off, I have been telling Republicans forever, you know, you sit there and you ignore it because it's in Uvalde and you're not in Uvalde. Well, guess what? It came home to your kids this time. And you want to call it terrorism now. Oh, it's terrorism now. You know, well, yeah, it was. It was fucking terrorism. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. You had somebody that you violated and then told them Second Amendment solutions are on the table.
You know, the confusing narrative from the right for me is that they keep saying that this is a trans issue. I mean, obviously they want to make it a transition, right? Because the person who had the weapon, the state of Tennessee and Republicans in the state of Tennessee allowed them to have these weapons. Logical supervision of that sort. There's no red flag laws. They just want anyone and everyone to have guns and carry whenever they can, wherever they can. Now, they're trying to make it into a gender issue, which I don't even understand that. And they keep saying that somehow we're trying to push gender agenda. Like, what the fuck are you talking? We are yelling and screaming at the top of our lungs, and these people are in the state capitol saying it's the fucking guns. It's the guns, dummy. Do something with the guns. Stop talking about pronouns and drag shows. It's the fucking guns killing students, killing children, killing our citizens, you dumb motherfuckers. It's the guns. And that we're not having a gun debate. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There are thousands of people showing up at the Tennesseans showing up at the state capitol, demanding that you acknowledge that it's the guns. That's all they want. They don't even want you to take away guns from people. They just want you to have common sense, background checks, red flags, shit that will just at least save a few fucking lives from gun violence. Just a few fucking lives. We're not even asking you to fucking take away the Second Amendment or ban assault weapons. They're just wanting to save a few, just a couple, 2, 3, 4, maybe a dozen lives in the state of Tennessee. They feel like thousands of them marching, and these representatives, these state legislators felt like going to the well because they shut off their voting machines and they shut off their mics. They felt like it was worth it for those lives because they believe in protecting life, unlike the pro-life Republicans out there. Paul, we're going to have to, and I want to keep going on this Tennessee issue, but we're going to have to go to New York. We're going to have to get to this arraignment and some of the footage because I'm going to run out of time, even with 3 hours of it. I want to tell the audience why you're here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're here. Do not forget to subscribe. We're going to be on for 3 hours, but you're not going to want to miss any episode. Tomorrow, Texas Paul, tomorrow, I have on former Senator Doug Jones. Doug Jones is going to join me tomorrow. He's going to talk about the Democratic National Convention coming to the South. He's in favor of Atlanta. He wanted to come on to tell me about that. So I said, sure, absolutely. Let's have you on. And I'm going to ask him about the Trump indictment and the Trump statement that will be made tonight. So I'll get former prosecutor, former Senator Doug Jones of Alabama, his response to that tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Dr. Rachel Bitecofer is going to join me as well. And she's going to talk about the politics of what is going on all around the country, whether it's Wisconsin, Tennessee, or the Trump indictment, or in Florida with guns, or Missouri with the library. She's going to come break down the politics tomorrow and give you the strategy that you need to keep going and keep pushing this narrative, because it's up to us. We are the jury, folks. We are the jury in this country. It is our government. So, again, don't forget to subscribe to the Tony Michaels Podcast YouTube channel right here on YouTube and download every single episode, if you can, on Spotify. Let's go to Grandpa Pence. Texas Paul, he is freaking the fuck out. And I wish I would have popped some popcorn. I didn't have time this morning. But here's one of the best fraud social posts he made this morning. He's got his caps lock on again. Obviously, he's a caged animal, terrified. He says, the radical left Democrats have criminalized the justice system. This is not what America is. He's held to account that the justice system isn't working, right? Like, it's just really funny. And this two-tier system they keep talking about, again, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000,000 times. The reason the two-tier justice system is because they're terrified that their tier that protects them will no longer protect them after this. That's what they're really terrified of. Is, yes, we do have a two-tier justice system in this country. It's been like that for a long time. To that idea, we knew that shit, and now that you motherfuckers justice system, we know why you're acknowledging it, because your tier will no longer protect you. What's your take on today's arraignment? Paul, what do you think? Do you have any predictions, or do you think or what we already know? The guy's one misdemeanor, and he's going to go in, get arraigned, leave, and go back to Mar-a-Lago, and tonight he's going to probably break his gag order that the judge is going to give him. Do you see anything different from that's going to happen, or is he going to do something? He was predictably unpredictable, and that's what we're going to see.
Well, he was offered arraignment, and refused to. This spectacle is what he wants.
Right.
So, yeah, he'll do or say something, walk out to that crowd or something afterwards. And, I have to say, the court is playing right into his freaking hands, man. I am so sick of the justice system where this guy's not going to get printed his, mugshot. Everybody else. That's bullshit. I don't give a damn who the guy is. I don't care what office he once held. If you break the law and go through the thing, walled over. Yes, it was just like 2016 all over again. Nobody asking a damn question, just wall-to-wall Trump, man. It was just everywhere. The Trump plane, it was like freaking banners, all advertising you wanted.
It kind of reminds you of that.
No,
Oh, I mean, I guess that's speaking of Trump. Here's on his little live he had. See if you can figure out what a stature limitation is.
The fact that they want to put a limitations. And
Did you catch that? The stature of limitations. I don't know. Maybe I'm just off my rocker, but I don't think that's the word. Let's continue.
even people like from the Washington Post and like for of Stan are like, I don't know, guys, this seems kind of crazy. And then I read they want to put a gag order on him so he can't actually talk about the persecution and the witch hunt that he's undergoing. You can't make this stuff up. So,
okay, so I've said this 100 times and I'll keep saying it. Every single criminal indictment, every one of them, if you were released of your own recognizance, which means you're released without an ankle bracelet, you're released without a parole officer coming to under strict supervision, if you aren't in a jail cell, there are conditions of your release. And those conditions include always, every single time for a criminal defendant, because it's crimes if you say certain things about your prosecution. It can be crimes, especially if you're witness tampering or you're trying to pollute the jury pool intentionally. There is always a gag order, always. Now, to what extent the gag order is, and I want to talk about this because this seems to be one of the things that everyone keeps talking about, the gag order. This judge is likely going to gag Donald Trump. Now, he will have the right to remain silent, Texas Paul. I just don't know that he'll have the fucking ability. But the gag order doesn't mean shit unless this judge is willing to enforce it. That's the way I see it. Are you seeing it differently than I am?
A little bit. I don't think they're going to preemptively gag him because they are trying to avoid any opportunity for him to ask for an appeal, which he'll get anyways. But they don't want to give him the ammunition to do it. They'll wait till he does something stupid. They'll say, "Okay, go have a nice day. You've been arraigned. Here you go." Walk out the door, and then he'll say something stupid like he's being persecuted and yada yada yada, and he'll attack the prosecutor. They'll haul him back in, and then they'll put a gag order on him. But they will make it his own stupidity first. They won't. I don't think they're going to preemptively do it because it just gives him ammunition. Like you see, little Fredo there just running his fucking coked up mouth. I'm surprised that dude can even talk as numb as his face has to be. But yeah, I really do believe that this judge is pretty damn smart, and he's not going to gag him from the get-go. He's going to give him the rope and say, "Here you go outside and hang yourself, and then I'll bring you back in, and then we'll gag you."
Right. Well, and that's a typical procedure too, right? Again, he can't break any more laws based on him being arraigned and indicted. Like, he can't go too far to try to tamper with witnesses, intimidate witnesses. He can't try to poison the jury pool, and which is all things that he is likely to try to do, right? This is Trump's MO, is to obstruct. That's just what he does. I won't be surprised if there's actually obstruction charges that Alvin Bragg has brought against him today. If there is obstruction charges in these however many felonies they have, I will not be surprised. But I think you're onto something there when you say that this Donald Trump, this is not going to be his last appearance in front of this judge at the Manhattan courthouse. And the reason why is because this judge specifically is the judge all the way up to the trial. That's typically how it works in the New York state system. I was questioning this the other day, and it sounds like that is what is going to happen. Now, this judge won't be the trial judge, but he will be with Donald Trump in this case all the way up to trial, which is probably sometime in 2025. Because I believe this judge it seems like he's a fair judge. It doesn't seem like there's anything nefarious that this judge has ever tried to do or to be biased towards one side or the other. So it's likely that when Donald Trump goes in their legal team, which he's hired actually a lawyer who is way better than Taco Penis, that is going to be representing him in this case, which I actually I'm glad that he actually has a real attorney, because then he won't be able to do this shit. Oh, my attorneys were shit, and try to use that as an appeal. He's got a real attorney now. That attorney even dropped his partnership at the law firm where he's at apparently to take this case. Now, when this happens, when he starts to try edge up to breaking the law, I believe that the judge will haul him back in court. And this is not going to be the last time. But I do believe that this judge will punt this trial past 2025, because Donald is going to be on primary ballots, folks. He's going to be on Republican primary ballots. He is going to be in an election. That is the balancing act that this judge is going to have to do with a gag order. Like Texas Paul says, not only is it about the law, but it's about appeals and what he can and cannot say. And Donald Trump is one of those measures. I don't know if you've seen how the guy reacts to things, or how He, again, is predictably unpredictable, but he is going to test every single bit of the New York and Manhattan and the state of New York's justice system here. Every fucking one of them. Every single one of them. I want to go to get your reaction to some of the visitors that they have in New York City today. This first one, he's kind of right up down of Trump's alley. He likes to lie. He likes to commit. And apparently he's showing up. He's showing up for president fraudster today. And here's George Santos. I'm not sure if that's his real name. There's a lot of names that people give him. But watch as he scurries away here from the media. Listen, George Soros is from New York. I believe he's from, is he from Staten Island? Is that where he's originally from, Staten Island? Anyways, the point is this, is that George knows New York, right? He knows how it works there, and he still is caught off guard. And I'm going to show you someone else who went to New York today who got way caught off guard, who got really scared and ran away. But here's George Santos's scurry.
Where's that? Oh, you're AP. Hi, how are you?
Okay, why did you come today, sir?
I came to support the president.
And are you coming to support?
No, I'm not.
Why do you feel that you need to support the president?
You okay?
Why do you feel you need to
I feel bad. I feel bad.
No, tell me why you want to.
I want to support the president because I think this is unprecedented and it's a bad day for democracy.
I got Gabe Sanchez with us, and my feeling is on this, Gabe Sanchez, that you're going to have an opinion. But here's how I take this: is that George Santos is there to show support for the president, and maybe when he gets arraigned in a New York court somewhere, that maybe the president will support him. Maybe that's what he's hoping for. I don't know. Maybe it's like a fair trade kind of thing.
I think he's certainly hoping for that. I think it's a bit of a reach in terms of the expectation because look, when his arraignment day comes, Donald Trump might be incapacitated, right? He might be otherwise busy. He might have something else on his calendar for the next how many ever days or years or whatever it is. But the idea that George Santos showed his face in New York City where his constituents have not seen him or heard from him in months since taking office, right? The fact that he was willing to show up also in Manhattan to avoid his constituents, but show support for Donald Trump when he doesn't have the decency or the courage to actually to his local district office. So he's showing up here, one, to grift, two, to stay relevant, right? He hasn't been in the news in a couple weeks, so he needs something. And three is the idea that, yeah, he's like, look, if I do you a solid, maybe you'll do me a solid. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is like, sorry, who? Who are you? He doesn't know who he is. He has no idea who George Santos is. And George Santos is hoping. He's like, let me just get 5 minutes of your time, sir, in between the arraignment, you know?
Texas Paul, what's your take on what's his name? Anthony DeVolder? Is that who? Is that when he has the
George
sunglasses?
Anthony DeVolder Santos. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
his name. That's his
do
whole
you-
name.
what's
George
your
Anthony
take on him?
DeVolder Santos.
Can't forget Katara Ravache, though, too.
Well, that's true. That's true.
My take is exactly what Gabe was saying. I mean, it's just freaking infuriating. This guy will not show up and talk to his own constituents. He will not go to his own office in his own district right there in New York. He will not even, he's dodging his own party. He won't even talk to members of his own Republican Party that want to talk to him about frickin' resigning because he basically took them for a frickin' ride too. They're pissed off. They want to see this guy. He won't do that, but he'll show up to, try to have a little lunch with old Donnie douchebag. But this is what I'm talking about. This is what makes me so damn mad. Drama bullshit all day long. Do some actual work, get some things done. Nah, ain't got no time for that. Ain't got no time to meet with my constituents in New York and worry about their concerns. But hey, man, there's a camera over there and some attention. Let me run over there and do that bullshit. I'm tired of it. These people have real freaking jobs. That's the problem with Republicans is they think this is all fucking drama. And I'm not just talking about politicians. I'm talking about their voters. Their voters think that that's their damn job is to engage in this stupid bullshit drama theater. It's not. Government does things. Government there's real work to be done. We're about to have, a serious problem. We're going to default on our damn debt because the Republicans aren't even trying to work through this.
Well, that's they want us to default on our debt. They're hoping to
absolutely. They are desperate for any kind of crisis they can come up with, and and you've got freaking George Santos, who by all rights shouldn't be in his seat, who should be working his ass off quadruple time to earn his damn spot, is out there playing these damn namby-bamby, prancy, idiot freaking games, man.
Well, I've got another one for you. Speaking of members of Congress, there's someone that arrived in New York City today to protest. The mayor said, hey, just keep it and behave. I think I got footage of her here. I think this might be her. Let's see.
That's what it is. Just call me Q, bro. Look at this thing right here. Q. Hey, Fred. Yeah. Just call me Q. You're from New York? I have a native.
Oh, whoops. I thought that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. I really apologize.
I mean, they sound pretty similar,
Pretty close, right? It's pretty close, right? I mean, what am I supposed to do? I got it confused. I really apologize for that. Let me go to an interview that Marjorie Taylor Greene did in a vehicle. I think this is her boyfriend. Isn't it?
That is what the rumors say. Many people are saying, if I had to say, many people are saying that she's dating the newscaster from RSBN.
Okay, so this is RSBN. Now, I don't know what they did in the car beforehand or after this interview.
No, you don't want to know, Tony. You don't want to know.
Here's an instance of a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because all the other Marjorie Taylor Greene clips are going to play. There's a lot of whistling, and you can't hear her because they are louder than she is. If you can imagine, the protesters there are louder than she is. I don't know how that's even possible, but it happened. Let's listen to this little interview on Trader TV News Network with her little boy toy here.
President Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today.
The Texas Ball, did she really just say that? Did she just? I think I know where she's going with this, but she literally just says some of the greatest people to be arrested today. He's joining them. Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? This is her take in the back of an SUV. What do you think of that?
If she comes up with the name Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or anything like that, so help me God.
Oh, don't play the clip then. Don't play the.
Let's see what name she's thinking of. Let's listen.
Nelson Mandela was arrested, served time in prison. Jesus was arrested and murdered by the Roman government. There have been many people throughout history that have been arrested and persecuted by radical, corrupt governments. And it's beginning today in New York City. And I just can't believe it's happening, but I'll always support him. He's done nothing wrong.
Oh my God. So
you heard it here. The Petty Yeti said it. Donald Trump is Jesus and like Nelson Mandela.
He's Jesus Mandela, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna give him a nickname, it's President Jesus Mandela. What the fuck? Oh man. She acts like she reads the Bible, but I don't think she's actually read the Bible. Do you? If she's saying
I mean, you would think that somebody who did read the Bible and preaches the word of Christ and how everyone should be a Christian and should be so nice and caring and not violent and not bigoted and shouldn't have an affair with 2+ people and do things that are, would go against the word of God, would go against the 10 commandments, right? Allegedly the Unabomber. These are things you would not, expect from somebody who claims to be a Christian. But
Texas Paul, what's your take on Jesus Mandela, President Jesus Mandela? It was worse than you thought, my friend. It was way worse than you thought.
Texas Paul's about to go to the custom pound real quick.
I've got this beautiful little hummingbird that's floating out my window here, and he's saying, "Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it." Jesus Christ! I mean, really, freaking really, you're going to compare freaking Donnie Douche Rocket to Jesus Christ and Nelson Mandela? Nelson Mandela, who spent his entire life fighting for the freedom of his people. And then when he got power, turned around and said, we will not persecute our persecutors. We will. I mean, a man with that kind of heart. She's comparing him to that vindictive, petty little piece of shit. And then Jesus? Really?
Yeah.
Have you read a Bible lately?
No,
I mean,
I don't think she's ever actually read it.
I don't know if she can read, right?
Might not
I saw
be.
somebody earlier when I had a tweet, and I think it might have been like, and this was the moment she knew that she had fucked up, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm about to play next.
Yeah. And I think in that somebody commented, "What was she thinking going to NYC?" And I was like, "Whoa, now thinking? What do you think?
Come
She can't
on,
think.
man.
She doesn't think.
Come on, man. Did you watch the 60 Minutes interview? She can't think. Well, here's that moment here where Marjorie Taylor Greene knew she fucked up. Let's watch.
Go back to Georgia.
That's what children's genitals.
Oh my God. So listen, I've never actually been to New York. I would love to go to New York City. I would love to go there often, but I'll tell you that I don't have this weird fetish with calling it like Gotham City or a hellhole, because anytime I've ever seen pictures or video, like social media videos of people walking around New York City or dining at New York City or showing New York City, it's not Gotham. It's not a hellhole. Like, this is all.
Right, but also, like, when people, like, you know, people call Chicago Gotham City and New York Gotham, because they share that same type of feel and architecture and aesthetic. But also, Gotham City is, like, she's trying to use it as a negative.
Fiction. It's fiction, though.
Right. Well, yeah, it's complete fiction, but she's trying to use it as a negative. And I would debate, or I would argue that many people, including myself from Chicago, would be like, no, Gotham City's fucking dope, dude. I love Batman. Right. Like, it's not, you know, here in a land of Gotham City, law and order does exist. You do have a vigilante, but you also do have a police force that's enforcing law and order. So it doesn't work the way that she thinks it works, right? She's trying to make it as like a Gotham City is, oh, this is such a bad place, right? When really it's the opposite of what she's trying to say.
Well, the other thing too is that the narrative that they're trying to construct here is that New York is a hellhole. That's why they're prosecuting Donald Trump, right? But if you have any kind of sense of, I don't know, just reality, and do just a smidge of your own research, and realize that New York City is one of the safest cities in our nation. At one time, it was not. It is much safer now than it has ever been before. Now, the idea that post-COVID somehow the city is falling apart and it's a shithole. Listen, they have the entirety of the police force, like 40,000 officers on guard and ready to go today and tomorrow and yesterday. This idea that somehow they don't have their shit together, and the mayor was trying to make the point yesterday, hey, you can come here, you can protest, we will welcome you, because New York City is a city that will welcome anybody. But if you get out of hand, I don't know if I can protect you or not. Like, New York City, listen, you fuck with the people there, they will fuck with you back. That is just how it is going to work. And I have a few clips of that. Here's her trying to make a statement, and it's really, she's even got a bullhorn, and it's hard to even hear her on this recording because the noise against her is so loud. But she's complaining about noise and how Eric Adams didn't want her to make noise, as if that's not the only thing she does is make noise. Let's listen.
And the Mayor Adams, as you can see, I'm sitting here peacefully protesting, but you called me out by name. While you allow crime in your streets, and you send your henchmen down here to commit assault against people by making loud noises, assault against police officers who are doing their jobs, trying to keep things civil, trying to keep peace, and trying to prevent violence. Democrats are the party of violence.
So now she's for police officers. She hates them. She hates him at the Capitol when you got to beat him with American
But
flag.
also, the argument she's making now, it would go against this whole like police versus BLM side, right? She's like, oh, well, no. Police are actually using the force against the will of the people.
Wait. You're saying her argument should be consistent? Texas Paul, speak of the consistency of Marjorie Taylor Greene's arguments for a minute, would you?
You know, well, first of all, she's so fucking stupid. She doesn't know what a hot mic is. When you've got a microphone and a bullhorn, you don't put the bullhorn against your face, because that's what the squealing was you heard. That wasn't people whistling back at her. She's stupid to know that's her own bullhorn screaming back at her, because she doesn't know to move the bullhorn away from your damn face when you're talking. But anyways, she doesn't know what a damn hot mic is. Every podcaster in the frickin' country knows what a hot mic is, but not Marge. Anyways,
she is a podcaster, by the way. I mean, sort of. I'm just
sort of. Yeah. but yeah, I mean, I always bring up John Edwards. You know, this same crime, and you know, they talk about Alvin Bragg, and she's always talking about that bullshit with Alvin Bragg and this, that, and the other. Alvin Bragg, I'll tell you, folks, has prosecuted this exact case 40 times, over 40 times. He's an expert on prosecuting this case.
Wait. How long has Alvin Bragg been in office? I want to make sure.
He hasn't been in office very long, but he's been a prosecutor for a damn long time. And I have to tell you,
it feels like that's a big number that he's brought to justice in such a short amount of time.
No, he is not. No, this was his job. He was a prosecutor before he was the DA.
You mean he knows what he's doing?
He knows what the fuck he's doing, man. He's really good at his job.
Wait, are you saying that the citizens of Manhattan voted for a guy to be their district attorney, their prosecutor, to prosecute crimes because he knows what he's doing? Is that what you're telling me? Because that sounds the opposite of what the right wing is saying. They're saying that George Soros handpicked this guy, gave him bags of cash. I mean, like stacks of real cash. And he was like, yeah, sure, George, I'll do whatever you and the cabal wants, and I'll prosecute. So what you're saying, though, is the opposite of what the right wing is saying. You're saying he was.
Yeah, it's a blue area. They hired the person based on his experience and qualifications.
That's weird.
They didn't hire him just because believe me, Alvin Bragg, he's enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was not your prototypical candidate, you know, but he's really good at his job. I would really not want Alvin Bragg prosecuting me. I would really not. He is very methodical. He's good at his job, man. But you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there that has said so much ridiculous shit, and then compare it to these exact same cases. John Edwards is the perfect example. This is almost an idea to the John Edwards case. And every one of these sons of bitches, if you ask Marjorie Taylor Greene today, should John Edwards have been prosecuted? They didn't prosecute him. Should he have been prosecuted? Convicted, pardon me. I said prosecuted. No. It's pure hypocrisy. It's just everything is through that political lens, man. All of it, Tony.
Well, the other thing too, and I brought this up yesterday because they keep saying that you can't prosecute someone who's a politician. You can't prosecute them while they're in office or while they're running. Like, that's all bullshit. We watched a Democratic senator from the state of New Jersey go through federal prosecution of federal trial. His name is Bob Melendez. And Bob Melendez not only won his fucking trial and was exonerated, but he won. I think even the federal prosecutors stood down after that when they were going to try to prosecute him again. But Bob Melendez stayed in his Senate seat, ran a race, and still kept his Senate seat. Indicted while prosecuted, while on trial. This nonsense that we don't do this in this country is all a bunch of fucking horse shit. All of it. We prosecute politicians in this country all the fucking time. Republicans, Democrats, for election fraud, for shit that doesn't have to do with their election, shit that happens while they're in office that has to do with their office, bribes, corruption. We prosecute them on all sorts of levels. We actually, yesterday, there was a chief of staff of the governor of Maryland, the former chief, well, he's formerly alive now.
Yeah.
The former chief of staff of the governor of Maryland took off. He was indicted. He fled to Tennessee. The FBI found he got into a gunfight and had to kill the guy. He's on a political staff of a fucking governor of the governor. Get the fuck out of here. We don't prosecute people. You people are fucking boneheads and you've lost your way. And we should be loud about this, just like Jamal Bowman. Rod
Blagojevich. Governor of Illinois.
Wait. He was a Republican, right?
Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck. Now, wait a second. Was he prosecuted that had anything to do with the presidential election? I think that it didn't have anything to do with the presidential election, right?
It had everything to do with the governor's race.
Did it have to do with the Senate seat that Barack Obama vacated to be the president of the United States? Did that have?
Yep.
And wait, did he pardoned by someone?
He did. Well, he did actually get pardoned. He got his sentence
okay. But who was that?
That was Donald Trump.
Wow,
and you know who's sycophants? You know who's sycophants for Donald Trump now in the media? Do you know who it is? Rod Blagojevich.
Lightning Rod Blagojevich. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Guy.
Coming from Chicago, I know Rod Blagojevich. Before Rod was governor, we had another corrupt governor that was in office. Look, politics is corrupt, but you had Rod Blagojevich was going to clean it up.
I want to wait. Before you go, I want to clarify something. Politics isn't corrupt. People are corrupt.
Okay. All right.
Easily. That's the problem that
I'm going with him because Chicago politics for a long time was really freaking corrupt.
You are from Chicago and the Daily era. So maybe I'll give you that. Maybe
for anyone who's heard the phrase the Windy City, I can tell you it's not because of the wind. That's just a coincidence. The Windy City is called why it's the Windy City. It's because politicians are, how much they blow, right? In terms of the lies that whatever. Anyway, the point is Rod Blagojevich, corrupt son of a bitch. I think it was like $2 million or something like that. He's tried to sell the Senate seat for when Barack Obama was going to become president. He was in charge of replacing that seat and then said, okay, well, who's the highest bidder? And that dumbass was having conversations in his office on his phone. That shit was tapped. They had recordings. He was done. And then he went to jail and then he got out. And you know what he did immediately after? He has a podcast now that's called Lightning Rod, I think is the name of the podcast.
Jesus Christ.
So he took a little bit of time to relax and come back, and then he started a podcast because, of course, it's all a grift and you got to make money.
Hey, easy on the podcast being a grift.
I'm not saying all podcasts are grifts, but I am saying that corrupt people.
You're right. Do corrupt
people will use it.
Speaking of podcasts being a grift, what I want everyone to do right now is like this broadcast right now. We're almost to 1,000. Go ahead and like this broadcast and subscribe to the Tony Michaels podcast. Our grift here. This is a pro-democracy grift. This is pro-democracy propaganda, folks. Look at Texas Paul. He's getting really uncomfortable with the shit I'm saying.
I just had a horrible thought.
Oh, what was that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, you think he likes them thick-o toes, man? I mean,
that
toe's got to be like that thick.
Look, he loves the little wieners. Okay, those little wieners, right? At the
I don't see. You keep saying.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, come on, everybody here. We have ladies and wives. I mean, you've been on your wife's toe before. Could you imagine knowing that hunk of brisket, man?
Jesus, we're trying to get 1,000 likes here, you motherfuckers. Would you settle down? People are going to be on this son of a bitch. They'll be talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene's toes. Speaking of three toes, here's Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman is the one who had a scuffle with Thomas Massie the other day over gun reform. Here he is in New York City.
Yeah.
And he's at the Marjorie Taylor Greene rally. And apparently he's using his voice like he did the other day in the halls of the Capitol. Let's listen. Do your freaking job, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back it up, the sound. Let's do it.
Do your freaking job, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You don't need to be in New York City talking that nonsense. Go back to your district. What are you doing here? You're here for politics. You're here because you want to be VP. You're here for your own fundraising. You're here for your own nonsense.
Woo! Jamal Bowman knows how to put it. I don't know if you guys know this. He's a representative of what's that place called? New York. Oh yeah. Oh, so he's in his hometown. I think.
There's can you go to the video where she gets into the truck and drives off like a little pussy ass bitch? When go to that clip, because I'll show you Jamal Bowman in that clip.
It's the one that's vertical, right?
No. I think it's it's horizontal. It's from RSBN.
Is it the whistle one? Is it
No. They get into that one.
Okay.
Why are you looking for that? He's echoing exactly what I'm saying. People are tired of this bullshit. The Republicans have jumped the shark. They are tired of this bullshit. Little tiny D down in Florida, mess around. What did I tell you? Bob Iger, Disney said, okay, we got a fight on our hands. They brought Bob Iger back. Bob Iger, first thing he did was say, come see me. And Tiny D went up there and they had a little meeting and he said, shut your damn mouth. 2 weeks, time shit. And then he started running his mouth again. What did Disney do? Shoved his ass in a freaking locker and said, try me. Try me. They turned the dogs loose. They turned their lawyers loose. Freaking DeSantis of this bullshit. They're tired of it. I don't know how to put it to people. This is what we need to be doing for the next election. Tony, now is the time that we plan to grow for the next election. And this, just painting these two pictures right next to each other of Democrats working, doing their job, running government, and the Republicans and the stupid drama, that is the fuck you we need to bring to the next election.
So we hit 1,000. So I appreciate everyone hitting 1,000 out there. If you can, go ahead and subscribe to the Tony Michaels podcast if you haven't already, and download every single episode of the Tony Michaels podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google. While we got the audience here, we might as well do some shameless plugs. I mean, we're our podcasters, so we're kind of grifters. But this is the clip I think you wanted to play. I turned the volume down because there's a loud whistle.
So when we get to the end of the that is where we get a crossover and Bowman shows up again.
Oh, okay. So, but this is her running away because she didn't speak long. Her rally didn't last long.
No,
she didn't have a permit for this, right?
I watched her rally. And it consisted. It was 6. I think it was like 5:55, or it was 6 minutes on the dot. I think it was 5 minutes and 55 seconds is what the total from the point at which she was introduced and took the bullhorn and started speaking to the point at which she stopped speaking and started walking. I think it was like less than 6 minutes.
That's about 3 or 4 times the length that it took for Donald Trump to have to pay Stormy Daniels $130,000. The reason why we're here today, I think. I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw that out there. Listen, again, there's whistles in this, so I'm going to try to turn it down so we don't have because
I also like how it says she was swarmed at rally in NYC. I mean, a lot of the people, swarmed by whistles, yeah.
All right. Well, these whistles defeat fascism. Let's listen. If it'll play, there it goes. And I got it down because of the whistles. They're really loud. She jumps in the SUV. And they don't let up.
Yeah.
Now, the police officers are trying to remove the crowd so the SUV can move. And here at the end is where you're going to see Jamal Bowman. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So on the
Tell
right
me when, and I'll try to pause it. So
yeah,
we can spot him here.
It's once the truck drives off, then he shows up and basically kicks him out.
How many whistles do you think there are? There's at least 5 or 6 anti-fascist whistles.
I'd say there were like 6 billion. There he is.
There he is right there. So you see him here. Let's talk about the truth, he said. Let me turn this up a bit so we can try to hear him over the whistles.
Now let's talk about the truth. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of my city. Fuck you. Now let's talk about the truth. Now, get her out of here. I'm Congressman Jamal Bowman.
He's like, I actually represent New York. I'd like to speak.
Right.
How about
But
that?
also the people on the side are like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my city.
It is New York, man.
Yeah,
it is
man.
New York.
You don't look. There's one.
No F words are gonna be flown.
Yeah,
around.
there's an app. There is definitely one absolute truth to New York City, right? Is you don't fuck with New Yorkers. New Yorkers hate Donald Trump. Okay, and the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene has been talking a big game, and I say big game, since Friday when the arraignment or the official indictment is going to happen sometime in a few days, early next week. She was like, I'll see you all there on Tuesday. We're going to have a rally. We're going to protest.
Wait, see you next Tuesday? Then what does that stand for?
Well, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are like, all right, yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday. Then you've got Eric Adams, who was like, look, you come to my city and you fuck around, you're going to find out. So if you're going to come here, you better be on your best behavior because I know you're a child and I have to speak down to you because that's how you understand. So try to mess around. Don't try to smear shit all over the walls. Don't try to fucking, hit people, riot, whatever. Be on your best behavior. So she keeps saying like, oh, Eric Adams and all this stuff. You guys have a Gotham City. This place is a shithole. Crime happening. This, that. All about whataboutism, right? And then
I want to point out. I want to point out. Donald Trump is on the move.
Okay.
It looks like he has arrived in Lower Manhattan.
There were rumors that he's going to give a speech because there's no cameras allowed.
Yeah, the only cameras that the judge is allowing is for official document record.
Right.
So there's going to be still cameras, and they're designated. I think they're only going to be able to take shots from certain areas,
right,
just for documentation and for the historical record, because it is a historical event.
It sounds like press will be able to take photos right before the arraignment in the courtroom. As it begins,
they're out.
They have to get out. Now, I also heard that he was going. I don't know if it's true, but I heard rumors that he was potentially going to be giving a speech before he walks in the building. Right. So keep in mind, because there's no press inside in the courtroom. He's going to try to find a way on how to, drum up support and probably get B-roll footage for political ads that he's going to run. I wouldn't be surprised if that was. I don't know if this is true, but I did hear he could have done this via Zoom. Okay. And the fact that he didn't,
they gave him the opportunity to do
Yeah. Now, again, I haven't confirmed that, but that is what I heard, that he could have done this via Zoom to do this whole thing. However, Donald Trump has decided to capitalize and grift off this and waste taxpayer money by showing up to New York.
Well, I think the other thing is what Texas Paul said. This is about attention on the media, because you see here, this is C-SPAN's feed, and they have commentary going on here. I've got it muted. But they're following his every single move. This is like,
I'm telling you, he's gonna use this and make ads out of it. He's gonna be like, look,
he's got his own. He's got to have his own film crew.
Oh yeah, 100%. When they issue
sell this thing,
when they issue the gag order, he's gonna say. I mean, Roger Stone's already on other news networks talking about how the gag order is a suppression of your First Amendment and how it's actually election interference. Right. So they're already drumming up this argument of how it's unfair, even though if we want to talk about fairness, it's that Donald Trump is treated the same way any other criminal is.
You know what I would love? I would love for him to challenge in court this gag order and to see how unconstitutional and against the First Amendment it really is. Yeah, go ahead, bitch. Do that. Here is a little bit before Marjorie Taylor Greene got to New York City. This was the welcome that she was getting here. I want to show you how New Yorkers respond to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and George. Watch this. So there's no lack of creative.
She did tell people to bring pots and pans. She said, bring instruments, bring pots and pans. We'll have whistles too. And then she ran away from the whistles. Yeah, she tweeted about it, man. I have all these tweets screenshotted for what was that? Because everything fucking blew up on her face. You thought she was going to go to New York and have no problem.
She likes to act like a tough guy, but she's literally tweeting out, "The whistles were hurting my ears. They were assaulting
Is that really what
me
she
with
was tweeting?
whistles."
Are you sure? Wait.
I am
let
not
me see.
kidding. She was
Let me
they're
go
assaulting
find
me
this.
with
This is great.
whistles.
This is great.
She did. There's an article that the Post Millennial wrote, and it was talking about how there were hundreds of supporters for Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she even tweeted from her personal account being like, I was so proud I was there and people were, supporting Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. She was there for less than 6 minutes and she fucking ran away because whistles were in her. Does anyone remember when she was on her America First Nazi tour with Matt Gaetz? And she literally said at the podium, "We will not back down." Then there was some hero with a whistle off camera, blowing. And guess what she did? Guess what she did? She backed down. She ran away.
So she's tweeting this video and she's saying left-wing activists are handing out whistles to shut her up. Watch this. I've never seen this. I'm just showing this video that I found. She retweeted this and they're acting like these whistles are against the law or something. Watch this.
Sir, can I ask what this is for?
So that Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming to the city right here. So we brought some whistles to hand out to people to make some noise.
Which is their constitutional right to do. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it is your constitutional right to stand there with a whistle and blow that motherfucker. Because whistles apparently defeat fascism. I didn't know. I don't know if you know that. Are Antifa weapons of war, it looks like.
I tell you, man, Gabe's absolutely right. This did come. He's a fucking hero. I don't know who Whistle Guy is. He covers his face, but that dude is the one that started all of this, and I am here for it. I love it, man.
I mean, and since then we've had whistles at other little, rallies or conferences that she's shown up to. When she's shown, because the first time that happened was when they were protesting Louis Gohmert, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. They were talking about the unfair conditions of the Jan 6 prisoners, right? That's where it all started. And that was the day that went down in history as whistles could shut Marjorie Taylor Greene up and cause her to run away.
Matt Gaetz ran away too.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz, dude, they ran away. They got in their truck, right? I mean, it's amazing.
Whistles work hella good on fascism.
She said, I mean, just like the guitar, this whistle kills fascists, right?
It does. Well, here's one of the fascist headlines.
This is the article.
This is the Post Millennial, right? The Post Millennial is just a fucking fascist Nazi rag. And here's the headline: Donald Trump is innocent. That's the quote. MTG joins hundreds of supporters, and they're stretching it, folks. There's no way they're not stretching it. And and she retweeted this. Donald Trump is innocent. Marjorie Taylor Greene joins hundreds of supporters outside the Manhattan court ahead of arraignment. Listen, I don't know if you guys know how many votes to win to be president of the United States, or even like a primary, like to be a candidate, but it takes a hell of a lot more than 100 people interested in whether you're getting arraigned or not.
I just sent it to you. This is RSBN. So I was going through footage this morning to pull for a what was that I'm going to do on Marjorie Taylor Greene just running away. And one of these clips is from RSBN. Now, if you play it, notice the focus on the anti-Trump crew, okay? And notice how they don't want to show, because what they're saying in the tweet was they said divided anti-Trump protesters versus patriotic Trump protesters in Manhattan. So they show the anti-Trump protesters and then like begrudgingly pan over and they like keep it at the front where the barricades are because they don't want to show more. And then they pan over and then you realize that the pro-Trump group isn't actually pretty big and there's a lot of press inside that pool. Well, let's watch.
Typically used to doing. This was kind of out in their playbook for this type of demonstration. Now, what we could turn down here, I'm going to show you a great example of someone that is here to do nothing but instigate. This lady right here.
That's Crackhead Barney. That's Crackhead
exactly.
Barney. Oh man, I've suggested that she come on the show. She does some crazy videos, post them on Instagram. Crackhead
and
Barney.
I'm sure we're gonna catch the other side of that angle.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get that video on her Instagram for sure. That's a great video. That's a great video. Have we heard from maybe possibly the person that
I texted Walter.
Walter should be down there.
Yeah,
and
he's
we're hoping
it.
he'll have a chance to maybe come in with his cell phone and give us a report from down there. Texas Paul,
I'm not getting anything from.
Did you expect though that the anti-Trump crowd would be much bigger than the pro-Trump crowd? I mean, that's what I expected. You expect that in New York City? I mean, come on.
I did. Trump time is over. I mean, yes, he's the nominee in the Republican Party. Yeah, but his time is over. I mean, he is a loser with a capital L. I mean, just a freaking loser. And the magic's gone. There's still hardcore folk that are still sending him their money and whatnot. And the media is still going to try to make money off of Trump. That's why they did this wall-to-wall coverage bullshit. But no, he's done, man. He's done. Stick a fork in that fat ass. He is done.
You're not talking about this fat ass on the screen, are you? Because this is one of the Trump.
This guy looks like Francis Buxton from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Well, you know what? I don't. The guy. You know, he's got his constitutional right to this desecrate the flag all he wants. He's got it on his shoes.
But I also can't tell if this guy's real.
Right. Well, here's the thing: is that do you think Donald Trump would ever in the history of ever give this guy more than a quick glance and a walk away because he would be embarrassed that this guy supports him? I mean, really, honestly, I mean, you know, I don't know who this guy is, but
wait, sorry, it looks like Donald Trump has officially been arrested.
Okay, so we're announcing now that he's been officially arrested.
Yeah.
Do we have? Can you see if we got footage of him walking into the courthouse?
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Because it won't take long. It won't them to arrest him almost immediately, and then they'll process him, and then they'll take him down to the arraignment. Now, that's the one thing I couldn't figure out from the order that the judge gave, because there's not going to be cameras allowed inside the courtroom. But if you remember, like the Steve Bannon perp walk where they cuffed him and they walked him from processing down to the courthouse, or excuse me, to the courtroom, that was kind of the perp walk. So I don't know if they're actually going to do that, because it doesn't seem to be that there would be a connecting corridor from the booking room to the actual courtroom, the place where they will actually arrange. So I don't know if they're allowing press in the courthouse to take pictures and videos of that. So we may
3 minutes ago. 3 minutes ago, Trump arrived to be arrested and arraiged.
I got footage here. I got footage here
of the
of
trucks.
This is him arriving. So we'll watch. This is the SUVs arriving in front of the courthouse, and he's going to get out. So here's Donald Trump, and they're going to do it fast. Again, I expected this, that he would get out quickly. They would move him to a certain area. It is the Secret Service. The Secret Service is their mission is to protect a former president. Doesn't matter what former president it is, and that's the way it should be. So, because I would want any president to be protected. I don't give a shit who it is, and just like I would want any president to be charged with crimes if he committed them, or her, for that matter, any president. So here he is.
I would just like to point out that these Trump sycophants that they've got on his Secret Service detail are the worst Secret Service agents I've ever seen.
Well, why wouldn't you want the worst around him, though, Paul? Why wouldn't they want the worst?
But look at them all. They all have their back to the crowd. They all, when the truck pulls up, you see where it is. You see the gaggle over here. These people, look at them. They all turn around and stare at the vehicle. Nobody's going to walk. You got one guy up there. You see him up there in the very back that is out in the crowd. That's a Secret Service agent. You can point him out because these dipshits wear sunglasses for some reason.
You mean this dipshit here? Is that dipshit?
No, back that dipshit.
Dipshit.
But every one of these agents should be facing the crowd.
Who's he waving to? Was there someone he was waving? Did Melania? I thought she was going to go do something.
Adios,
else.
baby.
Adios. I'm at it. What a fucking dingling. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, this is a history. Like, look, the problem with this is yes, it is history. Yes, this is the first time we've ever crossed this Rubicon where a former president was indicted on criminal charges, and what we're hearing is going to be felonies. and we're probably going to hear the news soon. Can you keep your eye on that, Gabe, if we're going to get as soon as they arraign him and what the felonies are and if they're going to release this public? Because my guess is that they're going to give his defense team the actual where he's indicted because because they're going to say that's what he's going to say. It doesn't matter what the charges are.
And
so
you know what, Tony, if I could throw this out there, please. They keep saying, well, they're prosecuting an innocent man. Every man prosecuted is an innocent man in our country. Every single man is an innocent man until he's proven guilty. You know, so this whole bullshit of, well, we're prosecuting an innocent man. That's all they ever prosecuted is innocent men. I mean, give me a freaking break, people. This is America.
Right. Do you have any word yet, Gabe? If he's
no, I'm still getting the same. The only footage I'm seeing right now is the same one where he gets out of the truck and walks down the street.
Okay, so here's footage of him actually coming out of the Trump Tower. Or Perp Tower, as it's now called. I think they changed the sign out front to Perp Tower.
Tower. You know?
Right. You can see him here. This is AP's video.
Big tower out of there.
And so here he is. And then again, he does the stupid, the Josh Hawley Nazi fist pump. I guess there's a couple people down there that appear to be Trump supporters in front of Perp Tower. I
There's at least a couple people
maybe
that are in support.
Anyways, hey, better support of me in New York City. New York City hates this guy. He knows that.
I would take a bet that there are actually more reporters there than there are actual Trump supporters.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
there is no way that we've seen, even since from the point at which Donald Trump said he was going to be arrested 2 weeks ago on Tuesday, right? We saw people show up, and there was a handful at best of people that were
Can you go back to that other video for a second, Tony? I want to point something out.
Yeah, well, this one is a live feed. I'm going to keep this as a live feed. So I'll go back. Are you talking about where he came out of the Trump Tower?
When he came out of the Perp Tower, yeah.
This is I'm going to retweet.
Yes.
Gabe, can you? I'm going to hang on a second. Let me get this. Can you make sure to keep track maybe of this?
That's okay, man. I just want to.
No. I just want to make sure to keep track of
and hold it up in comparison to your head. Okay, that's my fist. My fist. That is a normal fist. Okay, that is my fist. Now let's look at tiny hands.
Let's see.
Compare it to the size of his head. Look at this little thing. Look at that. It's not even 2/3 of his head, man. Look at that little thing. It's not even half his head. I mean, this is my fist. Look at that. It covers my whole face. Look at that tiny little thing.
The other thing you have to remember, too, is the position in which he has the fist, right? Like, the furthest back it could be is like right with his face. Most likely, it's like a half a foot further, which would be even bigger.
Right. Like my,
so
see how my hand gets smaller as it goes away from the camera?
Yeah.
So most likely it's out here angle because we know he leans.
It's like this. It's like this. Look at the size of my fist compared to his. Okay, you can't see my head. You cannot see my head.
God damn.
Jesus. God, and Stormy was right. Stormy was right.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You know, she said, "Little guy."
Poor little. Okay,
we had so much fun on this show.
Let me go back to this. Is again. This is a live camera outside the courthouse, and you see that that nothing has erupted here again. And it's just a lot of people kind of gathered. It feels like that they're waiting for the news to break so they can cheer and dance in the streets. My guess is that is actually the footage that we're going to get out of New York. There's not going to be a lot of disappointed people up in New York. They're going to be excited that this motherfucker is finally paying for his crimes, because there's no one, like, a lot of people hate Donald Trump, Gabe Sanchez. Yeah. They fucking hate that guy, but there's no more bigger demographic that hates Donald Trump than people who live in New York City.
He has literally since the 70s been shitting on New York City, and they've had to deal with him, and they've had no way to get rid of him. And now it looks like through all of these investigations, whether it's Tish James or this arraignment, this arrest that's happening, or the other three really that are happening, Jan 6, Mar-a-Lago, Georgia. I mean, New Yorkers are like, holy shit. Thank God. I mean, we might have a chance to get this guy out of our fucking city. Can't do business, can't be here, in jail. It'd be amazing. And I'm sure a ton of people through decades of having to deal with his absolute nonsense and debauchery and just
It looks
terrible.
like they're making a line here. They got us focused on law enforcement here.
Yeah.
It looks like these guys are lining up. So they must
Do you know why New York City has so much scaffolding?
Go ahead.
So the reason that that New York has scaffolding all right,
like on the sidewalks, you can see it here on the sidewalks,
has to do with maintenance, right? So basically, I have a friend who lives in an apartment, and she talked to her landlord and basically was like, why is there always scaffolding? There's a loophole in New York City that allows you to have scaffolding to prevent from having to do certain things with their building for upkeep, but having scaffolding excuses you in certain types of.
So these buildings are shit, and you just put scaffolding out, and they can continue to be shit.
Right.
Here's a good shot of the scaffolding,
Yeah.
and you can put
building everywhere, but it's a loophole that landowners use or building owners.
I thought you were going to talk about the window falling out of Trump Tower the other day. It was all over
I didn't even know that.
That may be why.
Google it. There's video of it.
And the scaffolding is just this walkway above the sidewalk that allows, quote, construction to happen.
Right.
But again, it's a lot of advertising for construction companies, and I'm sure scaffolding companies make a shitload of money in New York City for.
Probably. I mean,
they probably make a shitload of money because it's renting. They're probably renting the scaffolding like you rent a fence.
Right.
Like there's a lot of fence companies.
I mean, you go, obviously people who live there can speak on this, but like every couple of years I go back to New York and the same scaffolding will be on the same building I was going to visit for a friend or what have you. Right. It's just always there. Right. But yeah, it's not there because we're like, oh, we're doing work all the time, or we're fixing this building. It's actually not because of that at all.
You know what's crazy to me? Oh my God. This is supposed to be a historic moment, right? America is supposed to give a shit and be really concerned that Donald Trump's being indicted, and this is like going to change our democracy. On Twitter, in the United States, the number one trending thing on Twitter right now is Barbie the movie. That's what's trending, folks. Is Barbie the movie? And I say it in those Twitter spaces all the time. These people, these right wingers, just don't get that Americans don't give a fuck about politics. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they don't want to know or they don't want to make it important. It's just they got better shit to worry about. And they don't want to have to know every fucking thing. A lot of people don't even know who the vice president is. They don't know who the Secretary of Defense is. They don't know who the Secretary of State is, the agriculture, transportation. I mean, on and on you go. Most of them don't even know who their fucking governor or their lieutenant governor is. They have no idea who represents them in the United States Congress, let alone the Senate or their fucking local legislator. They don't know who city council is. Like today is election day in Missouri. And we're voting on a couple local referendums. One of them is a tax thing for the school. We're voting on council members. It just floors me that these Trump people are so delusional that they totally underestimate that the country doesn't give a fuck about politics. They definitely don't care about Donald Trump. And yes, if he committed crimes, they probably believe that he should fucking pay for them just like everyone else does.
Right.
Like these people aren't fucking concerned with the in and outs of your little fucking game about politics and democracy. And this is going to topple our republic because we prosecuted a former president. Get the fuck out of here. No one believes that shit. No one believes that. Only the fucking 12% deluded people in this country believe it. Barbie.
I mean, and not only that, you mentioned Missouri. I mean, like Wisconsin, has Supreme Court election today too. Like another huge that probably not a lot of people know about, right? And I think for most people, they might assume that there are two elections, right? There's the general election and there's a midterm. And I don't blame people for not knowing that there's in between those moments. fucking shit that goes on every day in our lives, and it's a lot to stay up to date. And the fact that we have wall-to-wall coverage of Donald Trump waiting, right? Oh, his plane landed in New York. Oh, he's going to Trump Tower. Oh, it's like, dude, he's not going anywhere. Okay, he's not going to fly away. He's going to his Trump Tower. He's going to hold until the final minute. He has to show up for his arraignment. He's not going anywhere. But what we should be doing is we should be focusing on other things, like what's happening in Florida or what's happening in fucking Tennessee.
Texas Paul, today, there's historic foreign policy. Finland is now in NATO. Finland is now in NATO. That is like huge fucking news that there is a country now bordering Russia. The whole reason that they went to Ukraine, Finland now is part of NATO, in a NATO state. I mean, that's trending number 8 and number 11 because Americans don't know and don't give a fuck. Whether you like it or not, that's just the reality. Now, we got to keep yelling and screaming and be loud about these issues so they do know, so we can make them aware of these issues. But Texas Paul, Finland is accepted into NATO today. That seems significant, is it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's freaking huge, man. And you know, Lithuania and Estonia would like to have a word about the fact that they've been NATO countries on Russia's border for freaking ever, and nobody seems to know they exist, man.
Right.
I mean, it's a big freaking deal that Finland, because man, some of the bloodiest fighting in World War II was in Finland. It really was. I mean, if you ever get a chance to look up Simo Häyhä, that guy was incredible. He was they called him White Death. He's really interesting. If you want something interesting, look up Simo Häyhä. I mean, this is huge, and Russians are paranoid people, man. To have Finland joining NATO, that's going to raise the temperature in Russia. I mean, 50 degrees. I guarantee you, man. I mean, they're sitting there bullshitting around talking about, oh, we won because Saudi Arabia is going to sell some oil using the yuan, and oh, we won. Yeah, well, we got fucking Finland. How do you like that?
I mean, that's big foreign policy news. And the Biden administration supports that because it only makes NATO stronger to have Finland in NATO. And I know Ukraine is pushing to be in NATO, which, again, the whole fucking reason why Vladimir Putin, well, I mean, there's a lot of lies around why he attacked the sovereign nation of Ukraine, but him being the border on NATO state is one of them. You got what's this YouTube feed? Is this Inside?
This is CBS Inside. They've got a commentator right now, but we've got live footage inside in the hallway.
Okay, so this is the hallway here. Let me see if I can get this going here.
I'm really proud of you guys. I want to tell you that because, all the coverage that we've seen of wall-to-wall bullshit, boring, stare at the plane, stare at Con Air, all the bullshit, not one takeaway to anybody saying, hey, you know what, folks? It's election day. Get out and vote.
Right.
Not one network did that shit, but I'm very proud of you guys for reminding people. And yes, we're talking to you. I wanted it's election day today. Right. Go check your elections. Go vote.
Here's the hallway. Again, it's CBS News. Again, a commentator on. So I'm not, fuck her commentary. It's my commentary here on the Tony Michaels podcast. If you want to go watch, yes, I guess that's one thing. But you're watching the Tony Michaels podcast. But this is the feed from inside the hallway, which I did say. I said maybe we get a shot inside the hallway like we did with Steve Bannon. I believe this is this.
This could be the same hallway.
I don't know. I have no idea if this is the same hallway. I couldn't.
If you want footage without, I don't know how long it'll last, but here's a shot without. Oh, nice hat.
Hey, yeah, good. That is a great hat.
Here's a shot from NBC.
Okay.
That has them inside the hallway, and this, which I'm assuming there's a gaggle of press and journalists and reporters that are right there at the line, and they've got all their cameras set up for the shot, which is down the hallway.
They flash the camera's light into the bailiff's eyes, like, thanks a lot, asshole.
Yeah. One of the folks in chat over here said I needed a fuck 'em hat. Just happened to have a couple available to me.
That's right. That's right. If you want your own fuck 'em hats, just go to theTonyMichaels.com. That's theTonyMichaels.com, and you can get your fuck 'em hats there at theTonyMichaels.com.
Because this shit ain't free.
Well, we do this for a living, and it takes money to do it. So subscribe to the YouTube channel here if you haven't already. Make sure to like the broadcast here. Get us above 1,100. I don't know where we're at now, but we're soaring there. Download every single episode of the Tony Michaels podcast. It's a great way to support us and share every episode. And also, if you want to give us money for free, it doesn't cost you a thing. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, if you got an Amazon Prime account, just link it to a Twitch account. You get one free subscription with your Amazon Prime. You give us that one subscription on Twitch, and we get a couple dollars. We're still watching the footage here of the hallway. It looks like they are awaiting the former guy, the President Fraud.
You see the guy in chat, perv walk.
I
love your audience, brother. I love your audience.
They're the best audience.
I might have to use that for a video. That's pretty good. Perv walk.
We're gonna watch it live here as it happens because I'm keeping an eye on it because it looks like it's gonna happen.
I'm curious. I'm generally curious. How long the arraignment is, right? Because we've heard, right, or at least confirmed through leaks or other people that it's 30. It could be more than that, we don't know, but 34 seems to be the number that we've landed on. And then obviously, the timeline of events of like, all right, Donald J. Trump, you are being indicted or convicted of these charges, right? And they go through, and I'm sure, I don't know the length at which they explain each one. So I'm kind of curious how long they have to be inside the actual courtroom. Because obviously part of that's going to be like, all right, look, there's going to be a condition to what you can say, what you can't say. Follow this or else. Here is the fine or the repercussions of that. But I can't imagine. I don't know, but I don't know what it looks like when you're listing off 34 accounts, like how much detail they're going into.
Yeah, Tony, you were right. The instructions are going to be really interesting. The instructions are going to be really interesting because I do believe they're just going to hand him some rope and say, walk out on the sidewalk and hang yourself. Because
if I was a judge, I'd be like, look, I'm giving you one warning. And if you don't follow and listen to what I say, then this is going to be the actual repercussion.
And those instructions in court are going to last longer than the arraignment itself. So, what will happen? What will happen here, in my experience, is they'll bring Donald Trump into the courtroom here soon after he's been processed, or whatever they're doing. It feels like the only thing they were going to do was fingerprints, and that was the only thing I think was confirmation that they might do. They weren't.
Well, was it? I can't imagine they wouldn't do a mugshot though, right?
Well,
like there's DNA sample, mugshot,
but they're saying they
public.
wouldn't. They're saying that they wouldn't do a DNA. It looks. No, maybe not. They're letting some.
Wait, but how can you do that without a mugshot, right? I feel like you have to.
Well, because their claim, the court's claim, and the bailiff not know who he is, right? Like, and the other thing too is a lot of people are
scared to submit a fucking headshot.
Like, well, I mean, he is Donald Trump, so I'm sure he's got a few. But here's the thing, I am of the belief that he should have to do this, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone else has to fucking do it, he should do it. Like Martha Stewart, there's a fucking mugshot of Martha Stewart. As if Martha Stewart wasn't a really fucking famous person at the time when she was arraigned, and she had to do a mugshot, and she had to give her DNA and her fingerprints. Like, everyone knew who doesn't know who Martha Stewart is. So, I mean, this idea that he's too famous to do this shit, get the fuck out of here. Just do it. Now, the idea of it being released, that's the thing. I don't know we wouldn't know what the ramifications of his mugshot being released would be until after it would happen. But apparently his team was trying to secure that they would be able to use his mugshot on merchandise and get exclusive rights to it or some shit. Like, look, this is a mugshot, man. What the fuck are you
The
talking
reason
about?
we'll see it is it's all public property. Yeah.
Right. Well,
They wouldn't have exclusive rights to it at all. But speaking of merch, man, you had one of your folks in chat. I wish you'd pop up, or he or she would pop up. Had a great idea for you guys to get ahead of the curve. Fuck 'em whistles.
Fuck 'em whistles.
Fuck 'em whistles. I mean, that was a great, not my idea. It was somebody in chat. Pop up, say who said it, but I saw it flash by. I didn't catch your name, man.
I'll work to see if
fuck
we can get
'em
some
whistles, man.
Fuck 'em whistles. Maybe we'll get bags of fucking whistles and send them wherever Marjorie Taylor Greene is going.
Antifa's coming, or what Marjorie Taylor Greene now calls them is trans Tifa, because of course she's.
Oh my god,
that's how much of a bigot she is.
Listen, that's even better. That's even better. That's even. I like it. Let's do it. Trans Tifa. Let's capture their fucking name and run with it. These people are so goddamn stupid. They're just fucking dumb. We reached 1,200 likes. People are saying 1,200 likes on the video here. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's one of the biggest live audiences I think we've had in a long time. So I appreciate you guys joining us here. You should join us every single weekday, not just today, but every single weekday on the YouTube channel. So hit subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get notified when the broadcast. Watch YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook every single weekday for 2 full hours. Today, we're going to go over because we're already at the 2-hour mark, but we are going to go over. We're probably going to take a few breaks here once we watch this guy do a perp walk into the courtroom. Paul, if you need a break, just let me know. And then Gabe, the same way, we'll try to get in and out here with the 3 hours going. But also, here's
I
what
may
I'll
have to run on you guys here in a minute, just for a second. I gotta, I like I said, I got COVID. The wife can't bring me coffee. I've got to hold my breath, run out to the coffee pot, grab some coffee, and run back.
Do you have to hold your breath when you take a piss too? Is that I don't know how COVID works. I haven't had it yet. So.
Yeah, run in, shut the bathroom door, and then when I walk through the house,
you haven't had COVID yet.
No, I haven't.
I have it now.
No, you have it.
Not.
But he said he didn't have
COVID.
it.
No, I have not had COVID.
I didn't get COVID until 2 days before Christmas.
Let me say this. I don't know if I've had COVID because I've never done the test where it says if you have or not.
Like Donald Trump says, if you don't test, then you don't have COVID.
Well, I guess not. But I mean, I've never had the symptoms, and when I did have symptoms of something, it was always negative. So I don't think
guys,
I've had COVID.
It's funny you're saying that because I'm vaccinated. I get vaccinated regularly. I think I'm on my 5th vaccination, and I had no idea I had COVID. And I wasn't going to test. I thought I had a little seasonal allergy thing going on. That was it. You know, I mowed my yard day before yesterday. I was feeling fine. I'm still feeling fine. I mean, look how good I look, man. I'm still
that's some good looking COVID right there. Baby.
I wasn't going to test, I never even crossed my mind. And then my wife follows Crew's Facebook, and then apparently a whole bunch of these Trump humpers on the boat that don't get vaccinated are getting laid out because and they all have COVID. One of them gave it to you, but to give you the vaccines work, man. My wife does not have COVID. I'm telling you, I barely feel it. Vaccines work, people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well,
it's crazy. It's crazy what science can do, and when you accept science into your life, it can do wondrous things.
The religion of science. I love it. I love it. When you accept science into your life, I bet science was another really famous person that was arrested too. That Trump joins is Jesus, Mandela, and science. That's probably we're still awaiting here. The perv walk, as someone called it in the chat, from Donald Trump. There, Texas Paul, if you need to take a break, go ahead and hold your breath and grab your coffee. Me and Gabe will hold down the fort here. And Gabe, if you need a break, just let me know. We'll switch. And I'm going to need a break here in a minute because I've had a lot of coffee. But I want to wait. I'm going to hold it until we get the perp walk, because apparently the thingy thing, the arraignment is supposed to happen at 2:15. That's when it's scheduled.
So that is 8 minutes from now. No,
Yeah.
18 minutes. 18 minutes. 18
Can you
minutes.
control? You can control the that footage coming up, can't you? Even though
What
it's on
footage?
my the one right now down below. Try
I can
it.
control it.
Yeah, try it. Try it. Bring it up. Bring it up. Come on.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can
Well, I'm
control
just
it.
making sure you can
Yeah,
control
yeah,
it.
I could.
So
you know,
yeah.
I
So
could-
I'll
I
keep
could
that
put my
going.
hands
I'll
in
keep
the-
that
in
going
the
just in
stew.
case I gotta, nature calls.
Yeah,
every
no,
once
I
in a
get
while.
it. You know, when nature calls, you gotta get going. You know,
Okay, Texas
depends on how much
Fallen's back.
coffee you had this morning, right?
I can hold my breath for a long time.
God damn.
For a fat guy with COVID. I am
damn.
telling you.
God damn.
Whew.
Did you get your coffee? Did you get your coffee?
did.
You got it.
God damn.
And
Oh,
a sprinkle
Oh,
of
shit. I thought I was going
tears
to explode
inside.
there before you put me on, Tony.
I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna go take a break. I'm gonna wait, maybe.
Don't speak so soon here.
God damn it! I gotta
Because
piss
here's the
Trump.
thing: the arraignment is, and right now it's 2 Eastern. Let's call it.
It looks like they're planning here.
So,
You
like,
see 'em?
I
You see 'em
imagine
planning?
the walk between.
And we're gonna see
is
this
gonna
guy here.
happen.
This guy here is like, we're gonna go down there, and then it's gonna go over there, and then he's gonna come out. That fat slob is gonna come out, and we're gonna
Yeah.
circle him here. We're gonna do a little.
Do you think is he
do-si-do.
behind those doors?
Totally
Like, is he-
misinterpreting that. That guy is saying, look, the donut shop over here is not really that good. The one over there, though, 2 blocks that way on Mott Street, yeah, that is some excellent donuts over there. They
I
put the
see.
Italian cream inside them. That's the good donuts.
He's not choreographing the perv walk, as we're calling it in the chat. They're oh my god, he's pointing out where all the good donut shops are.
Mhm.
Okay, we got some movement here. I don't know who these folks are. The courtroom. This might be the courtroom door that we're watching here, not the fucking processing room.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Because everyone's looking down the hallway as if he's going to come from that direction, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Well, because the barricades are up and that they're parallel to where the press is right now.
Mhm.
I don't know if the barricades go the full length of the wall, so I don't know if he's going to be coming from the left through the doors or if he's coming out of those doors.
Here's what I'm going to do.
or
I'm going to
what.
go real quick, and then I'm
All right.
going to let you handle the coverage. I'll be right.
So yeah, let me here. I'll pull this bad boy up. That way you don't miss anything. So yeah, who knows? I have no idea the layout. I've never been arraigned. You know, thankfully, I don't know the layout of this courthouse. I don't know exactly where he is. But I am forward to whatever this short walk is in and out. Because I don't know. I'm curious how long it'll actually be the actual arraignment process, right? Like I said, I don't think the counts should take very long to go through, right?
It takes a few minutes because they've got to read his indictments. I mean, it you know, I don't think they're going to stipulate it. I think they're going to do their P's and Q's to the end, and
Right.
it'll take a few minutes to go through.
Yeah.
And
also
again, I think
they'll give them the full documents to be like, here is everything,
Yeah.
here's the syllabus.
and I think
of
the
your charges.
instructions are going to take a while because I think they are going to because of the stupid tweet he made holding the baseball bat and threatening Alvin Bragg.
Oh yeah.
I think there's instructions about what he can because I mean, hey, he's a citizen of the United States of America. He can
Right.
protest his innocence all damn day long. They're going to need to draw for him or at least have his attorney affirm draw
There's no
where
turn
the
back and stop.
lines are.
There's only actually one route. You have to come
you
into
can't
this-
accuse
but,
the
Black simply
prosecution
continues
of
pushing.
being
You park
corrupt.
the
You
bishop on
can't
this square,
accuse the
the white
prosecution
come across, but
of
now you defend everything. And Black simply can do this
victimizing
one at
you.
will.
But you can protest your innocence.
If you
And it's a
look at
matter of time
if
before Black wins.
you track
Instead,
back through
he
what
moved
he
his
was
bishop to
saying
his
today,
poor
heading to Lower
allowing
Manhattan,
the
the
white knight
courthouse
back,
seems
and
so
the white king was
surreal.
just in time
Wow,
to come
they are
take
going
his
to
cause. Missed
arrest me.
opportunity for Atelier.
Can't believe this is
Family having
happening
a
in
breathing sigh of
America.
relief.
MAGA, and it's
On the
like,
camera in the
yeah, we
end,
can
Fabi
believe it's
smiling
happening because
after
you
picking up
committed
those
crimes,
queenside
and you know you
funds.
committed
What
crimes,
acting
and
we
now
had.
there's the
And this is where we
consequence
start.
portion of you taking your action, right?
Wait, are we at the find out stage of the fuck around saga?
I think we're beginning to cross that chasm, right? There's like this moment where he's entering the find, like when he gets the full list of charges, right, or the counts in which they're charging him with. That I think is he's opening the door to we're in the find out stage here, because I don't think that's obviously the full find out stage. For these, there's going to be the find out stage of the Manhattan DA's investigation and how he followed through with talking about it, right? Like how he reacts to it publicly, how he talks about the case, how he attacks, Alvin Bragg's wife or or Jack Smith's wife or whoever it might be. It's going to be something it's just Pandora's box essentially of the find out stage, and that's just for this phase, right? And just like when Alvin Bragg gave the press conference after the Trump 17 counts of fraud, he said we're closing the chapter, like we're ending this phase right here, right? The next phase is the one that we're experiencing right now, and I'm sure there will be a follow-up phase charges, whether they're obstruction or they're violating the gag order or whatever it might be. Like there's more. It's not just a 1 or 2 chapter book that Alvin Bragg is showing us, right? There's multiple chapters to it.
I got to ask you guys, talking about, this just proves what a sociopath he is, because I want you two to think about it. How would you be surprised if your lawyer went down for this exact crime? Would you really be surprised?
Right.
Are
that's
you
that's a good point.
really, really surprised that the guy that you paid to pay off this porn star got arrested and went to jail?
Mm-hmm.
He went through his whole trial. Are you really surprised? Or are you just such a sociopath that you had no emotional attachment at all to anything that happened to Michael Cohen?
Right. The idea that he can literally be the person who who had the conversation about the crime with your lawyer, Michael Cohen, who got in trouble, right? Who went to jail, who served his time. And the fact that this is coming back up, something that you thought was totally dealt with. You thought you had the protections of the presidency. You thought Bill Barr would protect you in these certain things, right? You have yourself a moment where you have to ask yourself, because again, I think he really does know the reality. Sure, his handlers and his lawyers are like, look, this is the likelihood of what's going to happen, and here's the likelihood of follow-up things that'll happen because of this investigation. And I think for the most part, he understands, but I think it's his ability or inability to accept, right? So he knows he's aware of the potential problems, but he's unwilling to the consequences for his actions, for the things that have shown to be true and shown to have punishment for.
I just want to remind the audience that we're about 10 minutes away from the scheduled arraignment. He's supposed to be arraigned at 2:15 Eastern. It is now 2:06 Eastern. And so we're less than 10 minutes away now from the scheduling of Donald Trump. Now, we know Donald Trump's always fucking late, so I don't expect him to be in the courtroom exactly at 2:15. But here's the thing that gets me the best, is that he usually wants control over everything, right? Like he wants control of the theater and the choreographing. Mm-hmm. He has not a lot of control here, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have control, and that's probably what is pissing him off the most. And that's probably where all the positioning was the last few days about, was he going to do it in Zoom? Was he going to go to New York? Was he going to make fanfare of this? And he decided to go ahead and make a show of it, even if he doesn't have ultimate control.
And to also show how genuine all of this, they're surprising me. The person, Cy Vance came out and said last week, Bill Barr threatened me and made me drop this case.
Right.
I don't think that people can appreciate that are outside the bubble can appreciate just how much like the Manhattan District Attorney, which deals with that office is huge, folks. It's not just Manhattan. I mean, there's a reason that the court cases from the Virgin Islands are coming up to the Manhattan District Attorney's office as part of their purview. It's a huge office. And when the DOJ says you drop this case or else, you're looking at losing all your DOJ cooperation. You're looking at your entire office being crippled.
Yeah.
Because Bill Barr wants you to drop. He cannot be surprised. He cannot be surprised. He had his dog go out there and crush this once. You know, I mean, this is not, he knows the jeopardy he's in.
Right. And Trump himself, right? Like the idea that, or rather his supporters, the idea that right now you hear them being like, oh, this is a political persecution, this is totally unfair, and this is unprecedented, and this and this and that. And it's like, look, you guys know the end is coming. You see the end of your orange troglodyte, right? You see the guy and the likelihood that one of these investigations, it's funny enough that, you know, the pussy grabbed back in this moment, but you look at the other investigations that are coming towards him, and the Trump supporters, I think in some part of their mind, accept or see that the end is coming. And they're, they see the end is coming. And just like Trump, they're unwilling to accept the reality of that event, right? And so they're going to say, oh, it's unfair. This is all political. It's a two-tier justice system, this and that. And it's like, no, you're finding out more than what we originally knew. You thought it was 1 or 2 counts because of a porn star. Turns out there's 34. Turns out that there was another woman that he paid hush money to be quiet. Turns out that, you know, Cy Vance comes out and says, Bill Barr, shut this shit down. You're finding a lot of things that are more than just, oh, it's Stormy Daniels and it was a hush money payment. You're finding out that there's, you know, again, there's more to this, just like us, right? It's all speculation. We don't know. We won't know until we see the actual list of charges or the counts that he has against him after he. I don't know those things, and just for that same group, that's, you know, the Trumpers, they're hoping, they're like, oh no, it can't be the thing that we fear, because that's the thing. They are fearful of this actually taking him down, or at least being one of the things that take him down, and they're unwilling to accept it, right? Because that would be the end of their reality. That would be the end of their whole personality.
Yeah, and you're right, because people seem to have forgotten the name Karen McDougal.
Exactly.
You know, she's the other woman involved in this that they paid hush money to. This was something that Alvin Bragg looked at also. So yeah, I will not be, you're absolutely right there, guys. I would not be surprised if this is not just from Stormy Daniel and some things that we didn't even think about. I mean, they've been looking at a lot. You know,
I mean,
you've got
had this grand jury for months now, you know, and the idea that a bunch of people on the right say, oh,
here's Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg just walked out. Alvin Bragg walking into what appears to be the courtroom.
All right, so we got 5 minutes till the arraignment.
Right, so Alvin Bragg and the prosecutors are going to go set up. They're going to wait for the defendant to come. Again, I want to remind everybody, just like Texas Paul said earlier, as much as we know in public and have a lot of evidence in public, and mainly his projection of his guilt or his innocence, whichever side you're on, you hate watchers out there. Donald Trump is presumed innocent just like any other defendant.
Yeah.
He is presumed he's going to be arraigned on several felony counts. The word is it's going to be 34. Gabe, do you have any word about since Alvin Bragg has walked into the courtroom, if they have dropped the actual indictment for the public to see, because they will unseal it at some point. It for the public to see. Also, they have to give it to Donald Trump's attorneys, and the judge will have to present the indictment to Donald Trump and then arraign him on that. And then they'll give him an opportunity to plead guilty.
I don't think anything is going to be released until he actually enters the courtroom. Like, he's got to be the first one to see the actual charges that are against him.
That's not normal. I mean, it doesn't have to be that way, but I think this case, they're going to make
what happen is as soon as that goes down, because they can't have press inside, what could possibly happen is they release at the
perspective. It looks like this perspective that is further back room where Donald Trump will be arraigned. So this is looking down the hallway where he'll be arraigned. This is a closer shot of that, of those police officers and court officials waiting for Donald Trump to enter the courtroom where he will be arraigned by a judge. Now, this is the same organization, Alan Weisselberg. That was his whole theory of why it's all rigged and all this bullshit and why it's the system's against him. But these judges are picked at random, and they have confirmed that this just so happens that he's the same straw that he drew for the trial of Trump Organization. And that's just how it fucking works when you commit crimes in these same jurisdictions. It's going to be the same pool of judges. Like, it is like oh hell.
Carry
comes to mind. I mean,
they were expand because there will be sealed to anything coming out.
Right now, the won't see trial. Won't see.
They're just, you know, in
well,
connection with his business.
They may redact or rename witnesses.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry for the witnesses there, but the actual charges itself,
Right.
right? Like the 34 charges they're looking at, or that we know of, you know, these are all related to the business. So, as Paul's bringing up, you know, you're going to have sealed documents. You're going to have redacted information in terms of what the charge was, you know. And for this one, it's it was a business issue, right? What the charges are, years or whatever, how many ever it is in relation to the Trump org that he paid off Stormy Daniels with. So there shouldn't be anything there that's classified or top secret, right? Especially.
I just want to point out, I just got a notification from Truth Social because I have the app downloaded on my phone so that I can keep track of Grandpa Poopy Pants. I just got a notification from them that says live now, Trump arraignment at New York. Trump's arraignment.
Of course they are
on his social media.
Did he post it, or did some? Where did you see that?
I don't know. It's just a notification from Truth Social.
Oh,
you know, guys, I judging this. I think the Trump camp really think this is going to be good for them. Whole air in the public media. Oh, this is just going to be great for Trump. It's going to secure his nomination, and he's going to be more powerful. I think they started buying their own bullshit and are really misunderstanding just how tainted and broken he's going to be today. He will be indicted for crimes open and shut. Literally, these cases aren't tried. There's no, oh, we got to rely on a witness testimony. They open the book and say, see this line? Okay.
Well, I actually think that you could see obstruction charges. Donald Trump. We're not out of the woods of obstruction charges. We could also see a conspiracy, because when you start to rope in different hush money payments to different, if they were the same scheme and they were conspiring in the same way, that goes to conspiracy, because it wasn't just a one-off, right? There was a conspiracy to conduct a pattern related to the business fraud conspiracy. Maybe it's obstruction. We know Donald Trump loves to obstruct. Actually, I actually believe that the 34 charges could be an array of different things. And until we actually get them unsealed and we see these things, we won't know if what the witness testimony directed the DA to do or not to do, what charges to bring or not to bring. We won't know if there's evidence, which the idea that there's evidence of this business fraud is very ample. And the reason why is because Cy Vance wanted to go after this in his district attorney's office when he Alvin and him to stand down. Now, my take, Cy Vance, which is a normal thing when feds tell prosecutors stand down, we're going to investigate this. The local prosecutor thinks, okay, the feds are going to take the case. Well, they didn't take the case. I mean, they took it and buried it underneath the be prosecuted in the SDNY, right? And then all the and I believe yes.
I was just going to say it turns out that Donald Trump is already selling merch.
Is he really?
He's selling a fake mugshot on a t-shirt.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh
No,
my
here,
god.
look.
Do you have
This is no joke. This is from Aaron Rupar. And he's reporting that he just got an email, or somebody got an email, and he now has a screenshot of it. And it says, not guilty, President Donald J. Trump, 45-47, 0404 2023.
I'm going to go back to the live feed real quick. I've seen this on Google Images. This probably
Wow,
ripped
$50
this.
for a t-shirt is insane.
That is
that
Kanye West was charging for a white t-shirt. Yeah,
There's been a grift. You know what I mean?
The fact that he's already, I mean, like, dude, we said it yesterday on the show. We were like, he's gonna sell a fake mugshot, and then maybe they end up.
I don't know if they want or won't take one, or I mean, I guess we're gonna find all that stuff out, right, with time.
Yeah.
But again, hitters gonna fucking buy this shit. They're gonna think he's a martyr. Only gonna be a small percentage of this country who believes this garbage. It really not gonna be a large percentage of people who are like, oh, he needs to be vindicated and he's innocent. Get the fuck out of here. Everyone knows this guy is a liar. He's a cheat. He's a fraud. He's a crook. We all know this. Frankly, a lot of these fucking Christians out there voted for him twice, knowing this and being okay with it. Because really, honestly, in the American Christian religion, frauds kind of fit in, don't they? I mean, you know,
they go hand in hand,
right? Frauds,
also
grifters,
with sexual assault crimes too.
Well, that is true. Especially when you have MAGA like Marjorie Taylor Greene calling all Democrats pedophiles on a 60 Minutes interview. And the best Leslie Stahl has is, wow.
Wow.
I mean, wow.
She goes, what she did was like,
crazy. Wow.
Wow. She did an exhale and then said, wow, and then said, okay, and then moved on, right? No pushback. No pushback.
I love how the ratings tanked just to do a Trump on her, sad, nobody was watching, total loser. Marjorie Taylor Greene just couldn't draw an audience. Nobody wants to see sport. Everybody wants to see Donald. No way. Sad.
So do you think bringing that up, do you think he directed her to go to New York City, or you think she's trying to steal his thunder?
No, I think she coordinated with him, because if you look back on her Twitter feed, there are official photos from the Trump campaign that are like with his logo on it, with some go to her Twitter page.
Do I have to?
Yes. Go to. I'll tell you why. Go to the Rep MTG one.
So her official congressional
Her official
account.
one. She's been doing on both, but if you go to Rep MTG, you'll see that she's been posting about how she was going to be there at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time in Manhattan to rally and protest against political persecution of Donald J. Trump and how it's unfair, and we need to voice our concerns, and we need to show to be MAGA strong.
She tweets a little bit, so
She
hang
tweets,
on.
but there are several photos that she shared.
She's his vice
Oh my
president.
God.
I'm just gonna say it right now. She's his vice president.
Oh, you think so?
You don't think
Yeah,
Carrie Lake?
absolutely.
I think
No.
Carrie
I think
Lake
she's
all did.
and this was her. She was supposed to come out here with the credit. Carrie Lake might be it now because of how badly Sporkfoot failed on this, but that coordination I've been watching that too, Gabe. You're spot on. It campaign material coming through Marjorie Trader Green's site, and then that's why they put her on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl. Was they were going to see if she could go through for a prime time and help out the campaign. She bombed on 60 Minutes. She's failed today. This may be her way out the door. I mean, her being shown the door after this. We'll see next week. But yeah, I absolutely believe that she was going to be his vice presidential candidate, and this was supposed to be her moment to shine.
They're
She
replaying the
failed
moment.
miserably.
They're replaying the moment where Alvin Bragg walked in. I don't mean to cut in here, but we're about 10 minutes past the time, which I said he would probably be late, which I guess I'm right as always. I'm just saying, just pointing that out there. Listen,
Okay,
folks.
sorry. It was not from her apologies. It was not from her actual her official account as a congresswoman. It's from her personal account. But on here, if you pull that up, you'll see.
A second.
Oh my God! Come on, man.
Hatch Act,
Keep
man.
up
That's
to
why it's not on
date.
her
God damn.
Hatch Act. That's why it's not on her congressional account.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you think she wouldn't be above?
Yeah, I mean, I
breaking
wouldn't
the
be surprised
handshake?
she does some stupid shit. Also, is she going to Mar-a-Lago tonight?
How the hell am I supposed to know this? Do I have?
I feel like she is.
Well,
I don't
probably.
know.
Here it is. Join me tomorrow at 10:30 at NYYRC to protest the political persecution of Donald J. Trump in New York City at the Collect Pond Park. Wear your MAGA hats. Woo! It'll be great. Look how handsome this guy is. You think they would do the Rambo thing like they normally do?
Right. You
They get him
think
a
that he'd be
Rambo
like,
outfit.
he just lays into him. Did you guys, speaking of Rock this morning?
No, what?
You have
Ooh,
Kid
boy,
Rock,
not
because he's upset at the fact. He's upset at the fact that Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, has
Oh.
now put.
Is this
has
why
now-
Seb Gorka threw his Bud Lights away?
Yeah. They're all freaking out. They're all freaking out
my
because they're all
God.
saying, "Oh, this American beer." Even though Anheuser-Busch is owned by fucking InBev, they've been owned by InBev through a hostile takeover back in 2010.
Wait,
Okay?
wait. Are you saying that the American beverage company was bought by a foreign company? Now it's not an American beverage company.
Exactly, Tony.
What
You
isn't
got it.
isn't it Stella or is it Stella or Heineken? I can't remember their parent company.
I forget which one. Usually one buys the other, but I know that the parent company, the overarching one, I believe is called InBev, which is a German company.
Okay. So why is he shooting the woke beer? I'm watching. the
Okay,
video
because
shooting
this
woke
is
beer.
why.
I don't want to miss Trump
Because
walking
Bud
out.
Light,
So we might
because
share
Bud
this
Light
later.
decided to put, they've made this LGBTQ initiative, and they've put messages and people that are from that community on Bud Light.
Whoa! Are you saying that LGBTQ people drink beer? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Oh my God! Who?
You
would've
know,
thought-
you remember
the
Bethany?
fuck?
You remember Bethany, the woman
yes.
who couldn't say what woke
what
was?
woke was, even though
right?
she wrote a book about it.
Yeah. That she was upset yesterday because she was like, "Oh, show me that your marketing department doesn't know what your demographic is." And it's like, the fact that you think the only people that drink fucking Bud Light are a bunch of bigots, because that's what you're saying. You're saying that the people who are unwilling to drink this beer are people who do not like pro LGBTQ plus messaging. That's what you're saying. You're saying that the marketing department, that the real demographic is a bunch of racists. And the fact that you're upset, fucking KK Karen, is because you are also racist and you are the person who's trying to push this anti-LGBTQ messaging.
So, Texas Paul, do you drink woke light? I mean, Bud Light. Do you drink woke light? What What woke beer do you drink? Because we all have beers.
and Coors Light.
Sorry.
I mean, I get it. I lived in Milwaukee, man. I'm a Miller
Missouri.
man myself. I enjoy it.
I like a watery Pilsner beer when I'm going to drink several beers. I do when I'm going to drink several beers. Now, if I'm just going to sit and enjoy a beer, I'll drink a Guinness. But I'm half Irish. Okay, I love Guinness. I do. It's not because I'm like all hoity-toity and shit. I just love Guinness. I do. I grew up drinking that brown shit. You know what I mean? Killian's Irish Red. If I'm going to drink a beer to enjoy a beer, I've got several go-tos. But my everyday beer, if I'm working outside and I'm drinking some beers, is Miller Lite.
It's Miller time, baby. I get it.
Man.
I get it. Again, I lived in Milwaukee where Miller is
king.
Is king. But also when you're a college student and you're like, I drink the most of money, Coors Light got those cool Rocky Mountains, got Jesus. Miller Light, anything.
Making it worse. Listen. I
give
grew
me
up
some
in
champagne
Missouri.
and beers. We'll do the whole thing.
So obviously there's Mountain of Anheuser beer everywhere in Missouri. And my all-time favorite is Natural Light. It's like
Natty Light. That's
Natty Light. Natty Light is Bud Light's, redheaded step cousin, right? And in Missouri, cousins can fuck. Arkansas too, but mainly Missouri. So that's why I drink Natty Light. I mean, that was the beer of choice. Number one, because it was cheap as fuck. I mean, you could get a case of Natural Light for nothing. Back then, I don't know how much it cost. Now I bought a case of Natural Light in a long time.
I will say, as a college student, as a freshman or as a sophomore, trying to get access to certain drinks,
right?
Natty Light's like top of the list right there.
It's up there. Well, here's the thing. When I got into my
Keystone
20s,
Light, that's another
one.
one.
My God. Oh,
yeah.
I'll tell you how old I am, man. Does anybody remember Wide Mouth Mickey's?
No. You're speaking for
that was that bottom shelf beer. They look like little hand grenades, but they got a right there. Yeah, Wide Mouth Mickey's. Yeah, that when you needed cheap beer when you were a kid and you had to pull your money together to buy beer. Yeah, you could always buy the Mickey's. It was like $1.06.
Eric shit every once in a while. Here we go. There he is. He's walking into the courtroom. There he is.
Looking good.
That's it. Yeah.
That face. Play back.
Let's see if we can get it back here. No, fuck
Chuck
that
Todd.
guy. Here he is. There's the.
No, those are lawyers, probably.
That's lawyers.
Was that Taco Pina?
That looks like Boris Epstein, man.
He does look like Boris Epstein. Let's see if we can get the There's Cyrus Vance, the last prosecutor. So that's that, motherfucker.
You got those 5
seconds. Was it 5? Shit, I couldn't
know.
Get the
It was
goddamn
definitely
video.
less than 30 seconds.
And we'll cut it. Here it is. I believe so. Yeah. So here's the.
Here we go.
Here's the lawyers.
Yep.
There.
There's Taco Penis.
Yep.
There's one of them.
Yep.
That guy can't keep his fucking mouth
That's
shut.
Boris. That is Boris, isn't it? That seemed like.
It looks like Boris to me. I mean,
did I miss it again?
I guess he needed somebody to hold his frickin' hand when he was sitting in court.
It again? See if you can go pull the clip up on Twitter, because it's got to be out there somewhere on Twitter already. I mean, there it is. Here it is. Oh, there he is. He's pissed off. No waves, no fist pump, no nothing, motherfucker.
Not liking it.
Pussy.
Not
You
liking it.
fucking pussy.
Because here's the thing. He just had to go
What a
through the fucking
goddamn
arraignment process.
pussy.
So you're going to tell me that this guy actually enjoyed himself for whatever the process entailed, right? Taking the fingerprints, getting a mugshot, all of that jazz.
There it is.
Look at that look. He looked down the barrel of the gun and was like, I'm not happy.
He's not happy. Not happy.
Dude, Alina Habba hasn't been on. I don't think she's ever been on this case.
There he is. There he is.
she's-
There's the still shot of it.
He's so sad.
I mean, I have to say, listen, when you do get arraigned in court on felony charges, it is kind of a motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, shit's
the thing
weird.
is, I mean,
shit's weird.
It reality sets in.
Yeah,
Before
it
this
does.
moment, before
It
Donald
does.
Trump came into the courtroom, right, or into the courthouse, it was all like the possibility of this happening. It was always like, oh well, it could or it could not. like actually officially been indicted, and I haven't officially had to step foot inside the courthouse. But when you look at this, he's like, oh, wow, okay, this is actually, this is that moment where you're like, I cannot, anyone has seen me walk, and I will have to.
Here's another screen. I'm going to be. And to know me. He's not the fucking president. Shirley, take his fucking constitutional license away from him. Are you kidding? What the fuck talking about? He's not the president. Like this motherfucker. And want him from all parts of the country who are delicious as fuck, and then they're fucking step because he's a petulant child, and the reason why there's no fucking would ever put him on the stand is because he can't. He's a. Then if you ask Bill Barr, would you vote for him? Of course I vote for him.
They all say that, right?
Man.
Like, no, well, you know, I'm not. We've lost in 2020, 2022. Like, we've lost so many times. And then when asked, well, will you vote for him? He's the nominee.
Another we would vote for him because he's Republican.
Right.
That means it's ridiculous. On its face, it's stupid. Party of stupid.
That's why I always say nobody gets a break. Nobody gets a break. There are no good Republicans. None of them. There are all say, shit. What was his name when we were covering the January 6 hearings, Tony? The Speaker of the House.
Oh,
they were harassing his
Rusty
Bowers. Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He just inside his house screaming, was there to die, have peace, and at the end of it they asked him, will you? Oh yeah.
I have footage outside Trump love and support. Oh wait.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. You know, this is a very popular picture in Chicago.
Yep.
It's a very popular picture in Chicago, and the reason why is because the bus tour goes right by, and I've taken the bus tour in Tower in Chicago.
So you also get the same if anyone's in unsolicited plug for in Chicago architecture, or you like getting a different route of the city, take the river architecture tour. I highly recommend it. I'm a big fan. I go whenever I can, and I'm from Chicago, even though I know the history. But you go along the river and you pass by it, and they always shade at the building, and people, will throw up the middle finger as well. It's great.
I got some breaking news. Here's some people who aren't indicted. Breaking news: these two, Chicago, these two are not being indicted or arraigned today.
Yeah, he's actually building his library right now.
Oh, well, that's
something that you probably won't see Trump ever do.
Will he library? Is that what he'll be doing? Instead of putting him in his fucking basement somewhere.
I mean, it would seem like there's a protocol in place. Like, if I'd say, hey, you can have them here.
Here's a people who aren't indicted or arrested.
I love and he mentioned Nixon. Yeah. And Nixon actually wrote memoirs. What they bought from Nixon was actually own work product, where pen to paper. It wasn't bought back from Nixon. It was Nixon's own work product that they bought. Do you think Donald Trump in his freaking life ever put pen to paper, wrote a damn sentence, guys, 2 Cokes? Really?
Wait, he wrote that much? Just come on. You're giving him a lot of.
Yeah, you're assuming a lot that he wrote those things. The other, like, though he does have the letters.
I have an official statement from Democrats all around the world. I like how Joe Biden never begs for his legal expenses.
I mean, I'm just saying.
The news is rolling in, baby. The news is rolling in.
Oh, yeah. I feel like my FaceTime call again.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
that
Go
Trump
ahead.
had.
Go ahead.
But, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to run. This just the breaking news keeps rolling in. I don't mean to keep interrupting.
No. I mean, this is
about 15 minutes, I'd say. And that's probably. I'm trying to keep track. Indictment's going to drop. Who?
I'm going all over the phone. And I mean, I'm trying to remember
Cheney. See if he's the.
Here, not to say that they will again, but who's the first person to get the actual order that went to? Ooh, nope, this is something else. Never mind. This is Jack Smith.
So this is official photography. Taco Penis here.
Wow, look how defeated he looks.
Yeah, and then a bitch. Ain't that about a bitch? Huh?
That is fucking.
I mean,
hilarious.
he's all like, look at his hair, man.
Today is not his hair day, man. He's not having days of all days to have a good hair day.
Today,
this would have been it.
Listen, I'm telling you, that is one thing that probably terrifies him about jail and being locked up. And I bet gag him. He's like, his attorney's like, look, do you really want to try to do your hair in a jailhouse? They're not.
We don't sell those things in commissary, okay?
Right.
Like you can get ramen.
How long do you do? How long?
I would say, look,
it's an ongoing process. It has to.
Yeah. I think probably as much time as it takes for a drag queen to get up. You've got an outfit, you've got everything, and it takes a lot of time because it's an art, right? And I think Donald Trump dealing with putting on
that cheap bastard by Skin Aquanet. I mean, that is, how he has to smell like your grandma from the 80s. Can't for that.
I would love to know how much money that Donald Trump spent of taxpayer money for his upkeep, right? Like he probably has a hair and makeup, right? He doesn't do it himself, just to maintain that leather face. And I want to know how much money that was written off to be like personal daily care or whatever the budget line is. Look at like more or less than the amount of money we spent to finance him going to his own golf resorts, right? That's what I want to know.
So I'm looking to see if we have any new updates. Have the actual indictment, because that's really what we're waiting on now, because we won't get footage inside the courtroom of him being indicted or arraigned, on the indictment. But one picture, we get a few of those probably as the day goes along of him in the courtroom before he is arraigned as they start the proceedings. But the thing that I'm looking for, the thing that I want is I want the indictment to see what these charges are and what they aren't, because I believe that's where it's going to get to the heart of MAGA and how pissed off they're going to be. Because I think this indictment is going to piss them off either way it goes. Either these are heinous charges and they're felonies, or if it's different charges and they really don't know how to spin it. Because they're going to keep hush money payments to porn stars. The reason why they do that, Texas, I think the reason why they talk about if someone pays hush money to a porn star, I like that doesn't faze me. I'm not like, oh wow, so you had sex with a porn star and you want to make sure people won't find out. But it's not about the actual payment, that one payment. That's not what it's about. It's about all the crime that happened after that payment. That's what these charges.
I think
the other.
Go ahead, Pix.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
Someone Someone go, goddamn.
I think people still do care about the fact that his wife was at home with a 5-month. I think they care about that. And I think that they care that he broke the law. It's like John Edwards, when he did, I keep going back to John Edwards. His wife was dying of freaking cancer, and he's fooling around on the pain trail with reality, or what's her name, Rial Hunter. People didn't dig that shit, man. I mean, it's people.
Yeah, but Texas Paul, I gotta hand it back to you, because I think you're wrong. I think the American people don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. I mean, this guy is the guy before he got elected, got a piece of film that he bragged about sexually molesting women, talking about grabbing them by the pussy. And the country went, man. All the Republicans handed him, and then the country's like, man, we'll still vote for him. Who gives a shit?
Right.
And the Republicans like, yeah, you're right. You're right. So I actually don't believe that they give a shit about the hush money payment. They don't care about porn stars.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they did care, you would more evangelicals and Christians would say, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, like Tony and I have been on these Twitter spaces lately, and there's one person in particular who always makes a point of being like, look, I'm a Christian. I don't accept what Donald Trump. However, with that being said, there's a big but clause in there. They go, look, morally, I don't accept what he did, but the moral corruption of the act that he did, which is like, if you really did believe what you believe, or believe that these sins that he's, then you showing support goes to you believe. And I get the whole fact, like, forgive your neighbor and all that bullshit, but when they continue.
Sorry, I got another. I've got another photograph. This may or may not be edited from the
pretty spot on.
I'm just trying to find some stills from inside the courtroom. Sorry about that.
Though, Tony, I think that goes back to I always rail about Chris Rufo over the Salon. I believe it was a Salon interview where he said they were talking about CRT and everything, and he wants to politicize every aspect of government, everything, because it's the politics. Once you put up with that shit, but Republicans are fatally flawed in that respect. This is why I say both sidism is bullshit, because people say, well, you get these right say, well, and Democrats always say, prove it. If he did something, I will convict him myself. Republicans, no. Once it's political, like I said, right, just filthy and as disgusting as can be. Or the meme you always see about him mocking the reporter, the handicapped reporter, and it always says, this should have been the end of it. Once you make it political, there is no not accept okay. Look what we did to Al Franken. Look what we did to Al Franken. Proposing was somebody that he had joked with forever. They had made off-color jokes, came up of his piss poor behavior. He canceled that motherfucker. So it's I have to say, Republicans don't give a shit about democracy. Republicans don't give a shit about rule of law. They don't give a shit about decency. They sure as fuck don't give a shit about Christianity.
I've got another photo here. This is a screenshot here. Sorry, I'm find some. She's on door for him. Wow, isn't that about a bitch?
Can you go to the link I? We've got actual commentary from the courtroom. I don't know if he's waiting and on the phone call, or if he was in the court. I don't know exactly, but he's on the phone with CBS. So if you want to roll that back a few,
let me see if I. Here is, let's see.
Let's pull up. Get the
Okay,
sound
well, he's
going.
officially
District attorney
pleading
there
not guilty.
inside the courtroom, not became new state
Closer to the end.
to be
Troll this.
Is it the part where Scott's going?
The police are going
Yeah.
to want to show up.
Well, he was.
Here's.
But if you look what some of his
Former president, as you'd imagine, Nora, just surrounded by law enforcement, not just Secret Service, but there is New York police, there is New York State court security, and there is police out in the hallway monitoring activity here.
It says he's inside the courthouse, not in the courtroom.
And the judge got a challenge from the media organizations to open this up to phones and laptops and to cameras, and the judge rejected with a feed, video and audio feed going across the hallway to an overflow room.
Scott McFarlane has been witnessing Donald Trump inside that courtroom as they read the just to
So it looks like he's inside the overflow room he's calling from.
He answered the media. It was noticeably louder than the attorneys who were speaking here today. No adjectives before it, nothing after it, just not guilty. And at this point, they're running through the procedures that will happen after this arraignment ends. There are going to be certainly deadlines set. Bottom line here is it's 34 counts of the same charge, according to the clerk. 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. There's more to gather, but let me just paint a picture for you here, Nora. It is such a humble place. The 15th floor of this courthouse in Manhattan looks like an old middle school hallway. That type of flooring, that type of walls. It is sweltering, stuffy hot in here. And in the court, like something out of the TV show Night Court, not something out of one of the grand
My
courthouses
God.
in Washington
Oh.
or the federal nationwide.
God
The
damn.
limited camera access
Scott
here,
McFarlane
which
went
the
there.
here are perhaps sparing some of the images of a very meek and humble place.
Okay, so I want to point something out here. And Texas Paul, you made this catch when they were walking into the courtroom. This here is Taco Pena, or Taco Penis, as we've been calling him.
Joe Tapioca.
This
Yeah.
guy, this guy at the end here is Boris Epstein. That is Boris Epstein. At the very end of the table, Boris Epstein is 20 part of me. He's the very vital part of the big lie. He's been the subject of several subpoenas lately by Jack Smith, I believe, in the January 6th trials. Is a compulsive shit as far as I'm concerned. Why he's
Born in
this
Moscow.
court. Right.
Born in,
Well,
I believe he is Donald Trump's Russian handler. I believe that. He
But
is.
here he is
That's some
inside-
shit.
Here he is inside the courtroom, Texas Ball. So if you're saying that, you're saying his Russian contact is right here with him inside the courtroom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe Boris was born in. He's a Russian. That's why he's got the freaking name Boris. You know, like Boris and Natasha from from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Boris, that's Boris. And for years this guy's been given a freaking pass. Let's take a look at what are his connections back to Russia. We know standing right freaking next to him, and every time there's something dirty going on down in Brazil or anywhere that freaking Boris is there.
So Wu-Tang for Children has it how and how how it
He's
started and how it's
completely
going.
Hunched over. Like, you don't have to be a body language expert to understand that there are certain key things, like when you lock up your arms or when you are hunched, make eye contact to people. There are certain body language signs, and this is one of them. Hunched over, right? This is those moments when you see him in those meetings when he was in the White House, like hunched over when he didn't know what was going on or he didn't really have anything to add, or he was intimidated, or he was, defeated, right? And this is that moment where he's like, the look on his face, a dude who's supposed to be the alpha male for the MAGA nation, this guy sitting on his shit-full diaper and unable to say anything other than not guilty. That he pleaded, not guilty, right?
Well, they asked that the judge would ask, how do you plead not
and
guilty?
He said not guilty. And it's amazing that he was able to just say 2 words, right? He was able to withhold himself from saying anything more than just those 2 words. And the fact also to Scott McFarlane, like the fact that he's in this courtroom that doesn't look like the stereotypical or the set of a Law and Order, right? Yeah, the fact, because I've been in a courtroom like this in LA to pay my fucking okay.
Right. Well, this is where you would go to handle those issues. Patriot Takes points out in this picture is the Republican 2024 front runner for the Republican ticket here in court as Trump is being arraigned. Now, we now know, because of Scott's reporting, that there's 34 charges of this the fraudulent business transaction, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So now what evidence they have of that we will have to see in trial. And that's one thing that's going to take a long time, folks. I'm going to have to, because we're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes, but I have to tell you that is one thing that's going to piss you off here for a while, is that we're not going to see the evidence, and they're going to make up all kinds of shit, all kinds of shit. They're going to spread all kinds of lies. That's what they do. They're Republicans, and they're going to continue to do it. They're going to use their entire media apparatus to do that. But what I'll ask you, make sure Michael's podcast, because we will smash it up with a hammer every single weekday, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific, for 2 full hours or 3 hours on a day like this. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please like, share this link. Also download every single episode on Apple, Spotify, and Google. And don't forget to go find pro-democracy content creators everywhere you can. One place is Texas Paul's channel. That link is down below. You can find that. You can also go to the upwire.com. Is another channel that has got some pro-democracy creators that are creating content for you to look at and to know the truth. And that's just telling the truth here. Of course we do, because the truth should be fun. It should be fun. Lies
okay, so wait, it looks like there's also a conspiracy charge.
Is there? Whoa. Can you pull that up for me?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's almost like Tony Michaels was onto something here just a little bit ago and has been onto something.
So this is as of a few seconds ago, but I saw conspiracy people were talking about, and I just wanted to make sure the conspiracy crime makes these felony charges connected. So you've got 34 counts of falsifying business records and conspiracy.
Okay, so the counts not only include, this is from Ed here, breaking, former President Donald Trump just pled not guilty to 30, pled not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records and conspiracy. The conspiracy appears to be the underlying crime that makes this felony charges. So here's the thing, and this is what MAGA is going to try to confuse everyone with. In the state of New York, falsifying business records generally is a misdemeanor, unless those falsified business records are trying to cover a crime. If you are trying to falsify your business records just to falsify them, that's a misdemeanor.
Right.
If you're using it to try to cover a crime, it gets into the conspiracy realm, and that's where the felony charges come from. So that is why, if this is a conspiracy and they charge him with the conspiracy, that is why this will be a felony charge. Each one of those falsified business records that they tried to use to cover up a crime, and my guess is they uncovered these with the fucking Trump organization's trial and the discovery and the prosecution of the Trump organization. That's where they found these records, and they used the testimony of the witnesses of how this conspiracy worked, and they uncovered this conspiracy to cover crimes with these falsifying of business records. It sounds like to me. Texas Paul, what do you got there?
screaming on the right. Hillary didn't get prosecuted. All she got was a fine. What you're talking about there, Tony, the difference is it's really simple. The case with Hillary Clinton was that she paid a firm to pay Fusion GPS to do opposition research. She filed documents with the government, and you sign on the bottom line that these documents are true to the best of your knowledge, that she paid for legal services. So they fined her and the Democratic Party $100,000 because that wasn't perfectly 100% accurate, right? It wasn't a crime because the payment was on the books, and it was to the right people, but it was not
to cover
fully disclosed that it was opposition research.
Right.
That much alone is just a crime. What Donald Trump did was he had his attorney mortgage to hide the money was coming from, take out a mortgage, pay Stormy Daniels from that mortgage that he just got, then turned around and created a payment system from his company to pay him over 12 months over twice what he paid Stormy Daniels, plus a handling fee. It was like $400,000. So there are aggravating circumstances involved because this never even made it to the campaign books. This came out of his business,
right?
That he paid him. So yeah, this is like what Hillary Clinton did, which was wrong, and she got fined for. This is that on steroids. Because not only did they not say we paid this guy, but they didn't even put it on the campaign books.
Here's a couple more pictures from inside the courtroom there. This is from Getty. So this is from the official record of the courtroom that the judge actually allowed a camera inside to take pictures. Getty image. Aaron has this here, so I'll retweet it. He doesn't look happy there at all. I wonder if they got an audio recording of him saying not guilty that we'll eventually hear. You know what I mean? Like, did they
not guilty?
Not guilty.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Joe Biden is guilty. I'm not
Joe
guilty.
Biden.
Joe Biden.
But there's a part of me where when they ask him like, "How do you plead?" and he goes, "Guilty." I mean, not guilty.
Not guilty. Hunter Biden's laptop.
Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? He's guilty. Where is he?
Where's Hunter?
Guilty.
He's at home, not being.
Joe said he wants to meet me behind the barn. I would love that very much.
You want to know where Hunter Biden is? Hunter Biden is at home right now, naked, doing blow, fucking hookers, watching the Trump arraignment on his laptop. That's where the fuck Hunter Biden is at this point. You fucking sour ass sons of bitches. I want to show you. This reminds me, the back and forth here reminds me of a clip I watched yesterday, where someone, I think it was an attorney of Trump or someone defending Trump on Fox News, had a Freudian slip. Let me see if I can find that before we go here. Because
this was priceless. I know exactly what you're looking for.
This is hilarious. Let me show you here. This is from Fox News. See if you can catch what he calls him at the end here.
For him to prove that felony.
So if this is such a tough case for him to make, why is he bringing it?
Well, I think there's no question about it that he wants to humiliate President Fraud or President Trump.
Oh, fuck. Wait. What was that again? What was that? You got to do what was that on this? Maybe put it. What was that?
That he wants to humiliate President Fraud or President Trump.
have we had a President Frederick Fraud before? Is that?
I don't know, but
I don't know of a.
I don't know.
Fraud.
It's officially on the record here in an interview,
God.
so I guess we do have a president, or at least a former President Fraud.
Well, let me ask you guys. He says this is going to be really hard to prove, almost impossible. Well, didn't they prove it against Michael Cohen? Didn't Michael go to prison? Right. Is Michael Cohen not cooperating, saying he asked me to do it? Here's where they found the money because Michael Cohen said, look, here's the mortgage. Here's where they paid me. Here's the accounts they came out of. This one's not really freaking hard to prove. This is one literally, like I said, open the books and point at the line. I mean, that's it.
You know what else on the conspiracy side that I think is significant is that they brought in Pecker from the National Enquirer. And we know that Pecker was out there trying to float these stories, that he would buy these stories from these people to try to find them, to try to drudge them up, who would say something. sure that conspiracy here, folks. That when you're
he did
planning,
by Karen McDougal.
Right. Well, exactly. So I'm not so sure that there isn't this big, huge way that Michael Cohen and these others used to smoke out who would say something or do something that Donald Trump didn't want them to do. And they were committing crime and conspiracy to try to cover this up. And they were using these events in a way and defrauding the state fraudulent business records to cover a crime. So we will see, but don't go anywhere, because tomorrow, you have to come back here, same time, same place, 9 Pacific on YouTube. Don't miss it. Set the bell notification. Have former senator, former federal prosecutor Doug Jones on the show. We're also going to have my favorite political strategist, Dr. Rachel Bitecofer, on the show tomorrow to go through arraignment. And I'm so happy that Texas Paul joined us today. Again, his link is down in the description. realtexaspaul.com. That's realtexaspaul.com. Don't miss his show on Sundays. Also, to whatwasthatshow.com. That's whatwasthatshow.com. Check out what Gabe's doing over on his Patreon. Why you're on our monetary support here is live every single day, and it's free for you to watch. We got extra content over there on Patreon. So go check out our Patrons. It's patreon.com/TheTonyMichaels or patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. Everyone, I'm so glad we were almost at 1,500 likes today. This is a huge broadcast.
This is a 3+ hour show here.
That was awesome. Well, we really appreciate you guys sticking around for us. We'll break down any news that happens tonight at Mar-a-Lago, or any statements or any kind of clips that come out. We'll be doing it tomorrow. We'll get Doug Jones, former Senator Doug Jones. We'll get his legal take on it. We'll get Rachel's political take on it. We're going to be here tomorrow, same time, same place. Surf's up, motherfuckers.
You've been listening to the Tony Michaels Podcast. In your face commentary of current events and political news. No rules, no boundaries. I think we've made that perfectly clear. We hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll be back with Tony on social media at The Tony Michaels. And until next time, raise a fist and repeat after me. Fuck 'em.
Murphy's Mule Barn speaking.
Where we have cultivated the most content. But we explain what happens next. On today's show, we address grand jury investigation, a number of